Might be a server problem. I think we may have a server problem. It is showing up as everybody DNFing on the board, and we are left with only the race control cars.
That has never happened before.
It seems to be Twitch being the problem, but looking at my view directly from the session, everybody's DC'd. Oh.
It could be the TV camera's connection, as Ramos, who also controls the camera car, is unfortunately disconnected from all chats and is nowhere to be seen. So we are just as in the dark as you are at the minute.
Yeah, so unforeseen technical difficulties. I believe it's just Ramos. And unfortunately, our commentation streams are run off of his stream. But yeah, that's just a bit unfortunate that we can't keep up with the action. From here, once this gets reconnected, we'll be able to bring you some more action. Luckily, it's only our commentator stream and not the whole server, as I initially suspected. Everyone's still racing, which is great to know, because that would be pretty disastrous if everybody lags out a little over 30 minutes in. But we will be right back. Sit tight, chat.
So we watched the amazing intro done by L'Engineer again.
Yeah, Adrian really is really good with the intros and the banners and the track, or some of the track skins. He's done some of the track skins. James has done this one for this race. But yeah, we get to roll the intro, and we will be right back as we cross 1 hour total streaming.
So the TV car is now back in, so we can watch. Doesn't look like too much has changed within the time that we were gone.
No, it definitely doesn't appear so. We're on board with bearing straight. And once the timing board comes back on, apparently Speed Don't, rather, has come into the pits. We'll see if it was for a driver change or just damage repair. But right now we don't have our timing board up, but here's the Scuff GP Porsche. And the number 82 SDR LMP switching positions there. There's another LMP behind him. I believe it to be the Corgi Racing one. As we just pan our way around the track. Getting a look at all the different liveries and all the different models of GT3s as well as LMP2s. Here's the Birmingham crew, passed by the Wadsworths. Great pass around the outside from the LMP team. Held the racing line perfectly as we get our tower brought back up by Ramos, our director. Another traffic swap there. The Lynx Racing Mclaren passed again. And here they are. The Simtwats number 68 being passed by... what was it? I forget what that name was.
Team Alpha, I believe.
Yeah, Team Alpha. So the tower is going to be out of action for a little bit. Apologize for that. We got a car off... No, it's not off track. Let's go into the pits. I believe it's the what is it? SDR. That's what it is. Soft Drink Racing. I believe they just went into the pits. No, Ren Ramos is working on fixing our timing tower. Right now it's out of action. He's working on it though. So we'll be doing our best to try to bring that back to you. As the Lost and Pace McLaren little bit of front end damage, tries to chase down the Cocorico racing car for P17. Scuffed GP Porsche and the Wadsworth about to switch positions. LMP powering by on the outside. It's a great camera angle down low, gives you a sense of speed heading through the corner. And the McLaren and Mercedes still going after it. There might be a move at the end of the
18th.
Yeah, might be looking at a move lost in pace. He's got a nose on the Mercedes. Now he's going to try to get ahead through the first corner. Can't quite tell who has made it out on top yet. Here's the Team Foyer car. Being passed by Cheeseballs with Stevens home in the background. And it looks like Red Sums has got ahead of the Cristiano Ronaldo car. Have word that Bering Strait pitting this lap from the lead. So they're going to be pitting potentially for a driver swap. We're almost to an hour into the race. But probably just tires if you ask me. But the lead LMP is diving into the pit lane. Here's the Cristiano Ronaldo number 16 Porsche making its way around the Mugello circuit. This has been a circuit that I really enjoy driving on, but I've never been really good at. You watch the McLaren and the number 17 Mercedes battle it out for P17. Mercedes leaves the door open on the inside. McLaren dives in, and he's got the inside line, but he doesn't have a nose on the Mercedes yet. Tries to get some power back on the exit of the corner. McLaren got good drive there, but I don't think he's going to get the move done. Might be able to, with a Dacia car weaving in and out of the two of them. But the lost in pace McLaren just a bit too far back, I think, to make a move into turn one. As the Speedo LMP makes its way around the Eureka. Yeah, don't worry about it, Ramos. We've got plenty of time, and anytime you can get the timing board back up is great. So now here's the A&H Racing McLaren working on the lawnmower racing. Mercedes, while the LMP2 runs away and the other 720 tries to get a gap on the lawnmower car. This is a fight for 22nd position. Go back to the battle between the number 17 in 17th, trying to get away from the lost in pace McLaren. These two have been really close together for the last few laps. Let's see if the McLaren can try to make another move into turn one. They've come close previously, but I don't know if they're a bit too far back now, but they're going to be heading through the final corner now. As we see... Yeah. Oh, now we pan to him. Great. The McLaren's got the slipstream. I think he might be a bit too far back to make the move now.
Especially
but if he can...
since the grunt of the Mercedes down the straight is much more than the McLaren, and I'm going to have to leave you for a couple minutes.
Yeah, no problem. Well, he ducks out. Speedo car picks up another position on a lapper and continues on with their race. These two battling for 17th, still at it. The McLaren within a shot of passing the Mercedes, but the Mercedes has just great straight line speed. The McLaren's going to need to stay close, take advantage of the slipstream on the exit of the final corner, Turn 1 is one of the best passing zones on the track, so that would ideally be the position to make the move, especially with the risk factor involved with trying to make a big pass in a tight spot in a very long endurance race. But the stream is restarting itself for us. And we're back. As you get a nice look at the Speedo Racing Porsche in 27th, the Birmingham crew. Gonna get past on the inside into turn 1, as is customary for these guys by now. The 44 AMG in P13, and here's the P19 car trying to run away from, I believe, the Simracing Porsche. We're on board with the Red Suns Gt3 Racing AMG. Trying to unleash that giant V8 down the straightaway. Here's the Lynx Racing McLaren. Still with damage on the front. All 4 brake discs glowing into turn 1. A little bit of a hang. Not to worry though. As we cut back to the 72 Mercedes. Ooh, gone a bit deep there. Dips a couple tires onto the grass. Keeps it together though. Did a good job making sure he didn't lose control. Here's the Diamond Shaft 27 Porsche. Wow. Passed by the A&H Racing McLaren at some speed. Couldn't quite tell how close that was, but the speed differential was very significant there. Could have been very, very close to a very large incident. Here's the Scuff GP Porsche Flat 6 singing down the front straight, across the line. The LMP2 traffic has been, or the LMP2 drivers have been very good about weaving through the GT3 traffic, although the Speedo Racing Porsche just parks it on the apex and makes the Peepo Racing machine weave its way around. But yeah, overall we've seen only 1 or 2 incidents involving. I believe it's the Simtwats car, yes, and the Flower Pickers Porsche moving in behind them. This is 4th position, by the way, for P21 overall. Hello, Fyodor.
Hello. I just wanted to give a quick update on the sidebar. We are working on it to get it up as soon as possible. Sadly, it broke the moment we the stream card disconnected, but it should be back soon.
Thanks, Fyodor. That was one of the admins for this race, helps organize it all, giving us an update on the sidebar. And everyone's doing everything they can to bring that back up for you as soon as we can. You saw a LMP2 and the Simtwats car dive into the pit lane. They might be looking for a driver swap, maybe a tire change, but until we can find out, Lynx Racing McLaren exiting the final corner, down the front straight. P12 and overall, very good effort for them. Bearing straight car comes very close to the Cocorico Racing 17. A lot of sparks on the exit there. These LMP2s very low to the ground, produce a lot of downforce. Not very difficult to get them to bottom out, especially under high load like this. 31 Porsche passed by the SDR car. Let's go on board with Porsche GT3, the number 16. Cristiano Ronaldo gets passed by the Dacia car. Brum Brum Racing, excuse me, Brum Brum Racing number 11 McLaren, they seem to have sorted out their connection issues and are back on track running full speed. But not a whole lot of very tight battles going on at the moment. We'll be sure to keep you up to date on them when they do happen. You can see the speed differential there down the front straight, the Corgi Racing LMP versus the Porsche on exit. 14th overall belongs to the number 69 Mercedes AMG of Blackhawk Racing. 19th overall to Red Suns. And they get passed by 82 SDR car. One of them, SDR car, getting caught up in a little bit of traffic. And here is the Speedo Racing Porsche getting passed by its sister car in the fast class, Speedont. And the 37 working its way through a recovery drive from its unfortunate spin early on. Here's the 16 Porsche, all by its lonesome. Just staying out of trouble, and a little bit of a developing battle here for P18, the Birmingham crew, keeping their number 44 where it is, but they might have a little pressure from behind from the Red Suns AMG. We'll keep an eye on that as it gets better and better throughout the course of this one. LMP's just filtering through. Not a lot of drama there. You see that an example of that. Number 24 in P7 squeezes by the Lynx Racing McLaren in P12. I think that Lynx Racing McLaren is P2 in class, if I'm not mistaken. Which is great from them, considering all the drama we saw earlier on. P2 is very, very solid, definitely where you want to be moving forward, and a great position to try to make a move on first as this one starts to close out. Here's the Scuff GP Porsche, the 38. And a couple of LMPs close together. I don't think that one is quite for position, but the Dacia LMP goes off track. Number 41, they're going to try to recover. They had a pretty good rejoin in order, but can't tell for sure. A little bit of a hang on the commentator stream. See the car go into the pits. Having a little bit of technical difficulties for the commentator stream. Back to you as soon as possible. See a sorry for the delayed commentary, but there is a tight battle between a few temporarily behind on commentary. Maybe. There we go, we're back. So now we've got the Lynx Racing McLaren. Front end has seen better days, but the 39 plugging away, winding down the laps, winding down the time. But not a whole lot of side-by-side action. Cars are pretty evenly spread around the field. See Team Alpha making another lap pass on the Cocorico Racing Mercedes. They're currently 20th overall. Here's the Brum McLaren being lapped. I think that is a Porsche behind him that they might want to watch out for in the next 10 or so laps. Gaps can easily grow and close, especially with what we've seen earlier on. You never know when you might dip a tire onto the grass, lose control, and have to find yourself saving it. You just never know, especially in long races. There's a lot of time where anything can happen. I think a tire just got dipped onto the grass by the lawnmower racing car. You almost couldn't even tell, though. Brought it right back onto the racing line very well. Back to the Lynx Racing McLaren, second in class, 12th overall. I believe they are the second McLaren in line behind the leader, which is also in a McLaren for the GT3 class. '17 Mercedes once again. And a growl of the V8. Really unique. As another lap goes around, Thunder Racing, clean pass on the Cristiano Ronaldo Porsche. Let's just go around the track. The 69 goes off track ever so slightly. Luckily, the only threat to their position is an LMP2. Just sliding on by. So we try to get the tower back running for you. Speedo Racing Porsche still 27th overall. Haven't really picked up any positions after their spin. Long way to go, though. As the 69 gets passed down the straightaway, probably going to get a little bit of the slipstream of the Speedo car. Get a little bit quicker than the Mercedes normally goes down the front straight. It's Quizit in chat. Hello. Here's the 75. And switch back to the second McLaren in line for the GT3 cars. Might be closing in on P1. No, not quite. The Lawnmower Racing. Lawnmower Racing machine. I don't believe it's in P1. I'll get back to you on that later, though. 44 Mercedes is trying to escape. I believe that is the lost in time McLaren behind them, but it's definitely a few car lengths. So there isn't a whole lot for them to worry about just yet. Maybe give another 5 or so laps. Yeah, G-Perry in chat. When we don't have the timing screen, it's not very easy to tell who's where or what's going on. But listening to these cars go around, watching them go around, getting pushed to the limit here is definitely. Oh, did I get the name wrong? I probably did. I am all over the place with my consistency here. Chat, what was it? What's the name of that McLaren? Oh wait, I've got the spotter's guide here. What am I doing?
Lost in pace.
Oh come on, I was close. I wasn't that far off. The 42 lost in pace, McLaren. I figured I should probably get it right since they have it plastered on both of the doors of their car. Oh well. Oh well. We move on. But anyway, a little bit of a hang on the commentary stream, going for a quick fix. You get to watch the intro video again, chat.
bit of insider information here, but it seems Thunder Racing has gone for a driver swap, so they'll be slightly further behind when we load back in.
Of course, good information to know. That kind of insider DMs that we get really helps in the absence of whatever it is. The timing screen is what it is. I think we're going to be loading back in. And we're back. On board with the Pipo racing car. You said it was Thunder Racing that did the driver swap?
Yep.
Well, they, in that brief time they were on the screen, they were showing up as P10 in LMP2. That's back to class. So that would make plenty of sense why they pop into the pits, come back out in the back. We rejoin watching the 75 Mercedes weave its way through the second sector, and the 69 Mercedes is just being lapped once again. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to see that giant Steven head in the background. Oh, Ramos, you need to bring the stream back to chat. We do have a timing solution, by the way. So we do have a way of seeing who's where. It's a little finicky at the moment, and we'll try to switch the screen as soon as we can. Ramos has a lot that he's working on in the background right now. But yeah, he's doing his best. We'll have everything back in order soon. Oh, we've got a leaderboard. So when the screen switches over, we should be able to have that to talk about. But in the meantime, you get to listen to the cars. I think streaming might be, streaming Fox in chat. Streaming might be like the ultimate test of Murphy's Law. Because once you go live, anything that can go wrong probably will go wrong. You know, we've got the disconnect, the timing board being broken, the solution being worked on and being ready to deliver soon. But in the meantime, we're gonna ride this out, and we'll be back eventually with the 4 hours of Mugello. There we are. Chat, you can see it all now, right? Yeah. Okay, we have a temporary, well, it may be temporary, may be permanent solution. We at least have a timing screen, bearing straight, still on top of LMP2, Pipo Racing in second, SDR third, Corgi Racing down to fourth, from third, the Wadsworth in fifth, Speedo sixth, Cheeseball seventh, Team Alpha 8th, Dacia 9th, and Thunder Racing after their driver swap 10th. And at the pointy end of the GT3 field, there is Lynx Racing and the nice Mercedes, followed by Arbaz Motorsport, the 75 AMG team Foyer, 42 Lost in Pace, not Lost in Time. I forgot to mention the Sim Hub leaderboard car in between 9th and 10th. They don't really know what position they're going to be in, according to the tower. The Birmingham boys, their 44 car P16, P17 to the 16 Porsche Cristiano Ronaldo Racing, 17th to Cocorico, and 31 to Flower Pickers Button German, 31 Porsche. At least we have timing now, chat. Be glad we have timing. We know who's where, at least as far as the top 19 are concerned. But this development here, a couple Mercedes side by side. That was not for position. That was for an unlap. But even though we were gone, not a whole lot has shaken up throughout the general order of the field, except for the Thunder Racing car dropping back to 10th in class and overall, which is last of the LMPs after their driver swap. Shady's being passed on the outside. Thunder Racing LMP. Looks like Lynx Racing still bringing up P1 for the GT3s. Mr. Quantum in chat, unfortunately, no. This is the best timing board solution we have at the moment. We are working on getting a new one, but I'm not going to make any promises that I don't know if I can keep. But yeah, this is our temporary fix, and this is as much as we're going to have for now. So unfortunately, we can't see further back than 19th overall. But the SDR car, side by side with the Lynx Racing car, into the braking zone. Both of them keep it clean, both of them hold their lines. Yeah, the GT3 gaps are a bit difficult to read with the Birmingham boys 563.5 seconds off of the leader. But at least we know what order they're in. We can keep up with any any position swaps. Now the Brum Brum Racing team and their number 11 McLaren, they're probably going to be lapped by the Birmingham crew. And the Cheesy Balls LMP going to pick up another lap on the outside of the final corner on the Lost in Pace McLaren. Naughty, when do you think all the drivers are really going to want to start picking up their pace and making a run for the end? Do you think it matters more about where you are in the field and when you push, or what your strategy is?
I think it all comes down to strategy, really, because the tyres, well, certainly in the Orica, can only last about 40 minutes, so you kind of have to choose your strategy so you don't have to do a splash and dash at the end. But with the GTs, I'm not sure, because, well, they have different tyre wear, different fuel, but I suspect we may start to see the lap times really start to kind of level out around maybe half an hour to go as teams try and push that last position gain.
Yeah, definitely. We do have a ways to go before we start seeing people try to get 10/10ths out of the car. But for now, I think everyone's just trying to work their way into a position where they're comfortable making that push and just keeping it on track, keeping it together, minimizing any kind of damage or time loss you get, just so they can be there at the end, really. Brum Brum doing a driver's swap, so they're probably going to be dropping back in the field fairly soon. As the number 69 Mercedes makes his way around the course, trailed by a couple more cars, I believe. SDR makes another move. They're P3 in class ahead of Corgi Racing and behind Peepo. A&H racing car getting past. The LMP kind of dipped onto the separation between pits and racetrack, but definitely not something that's worth a look at by the stewards. Probably have a few more instances they want to look at, especially earlier on in the race, excuse me. But yeah, everyone's kind of evenly distributed around the track, and everyone's just running their own race, keeping it together. See flames firing out of the side pipes of the AMG. Dacia LMP making its move on the 31 Porsche. Here's the overdrive Simracing car trying to keep a slipstream on the LMP ahead. I believe that Porsche had him as die-man shaft, and that would be 4th position. So let's see if that McLaren can slowly but surely close in. There's a bit of contact there. The A&H McLaren gets a tap from Team Alpha. That might be a little point of contention later on in the steward's room, but both cars make it out okay. No real time was lost from either of them. That well held, and it will the race will continue on. Right now, we got some side-by-side action. The Simtwat's car going around the outside of the number 17 Mercedes, not for position. The Simtwat's car was unlapping themselves. Speedont going to try to lap Simtwat's back. Goes down the inside, picks up a position. Oh, this is for position right here. The Simtwats versus the Lawnmower Racing car, and it looks like the Lawnmower Racing Mercedes got the worst of that. Backed up to let the LMP2 by, and then ended up losing a position to a GT. And the number 17 passed the Lawnmower Racing car as well. Get a top-down view of that one in the car in question. Might be trying to make a move to get back the lap that they lost. But they've got the Diamond Shaft Porsche going down the inside. Not for position, but a good pass. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that wasn't for position, but it was an optimistic move down the inside, really. It's hopefully clean and they can sort it out.
Yeah, it looked good from our angle. It looks like the driver on the outside. Don't quite remember who it was, but they had very good awareness to know that they had someone on the inside. They need to leave space to avoid an incident and just run their own race. As we get some... Oh, we got an LMP2 not knowing where to go. Has to weave past GT traffic. Lost in pace car. Kind of holding up an LMP. There's the Peepo Racing car. As the Birmingham crew has another Mercedes in tow. It's the... Let me double check for you. It's the Red Suns Mercedes. We got to look at the Lawnmower Racing Mercedes right here. tailed by a very angry 720. But starting to see a little more action in terms of overtakes in between cars of the same class. Not necessarily for position, but definitely good to watch to see these drivers try to ever so slightly turn up the aggression a little bit, try to get some little more track position, maybe get a slipstream or two to put in a fast lap. But it seems to be like this leaderboard is going to be what we have for the rest of the race in the name of stability. I think it might be a little too optimistic to try to switch it up and risk losing it entirely. So, unfortunately, this is going to be what we have to roll on with as we see the McLaren dive to the inside. This is for position right here. Lawnmower Racing needs to try to find a little more speed. The McLaren's got him clear around the outside. And, oh, that's a deep dive from the Cheesy Balls LMP2. I can't believe that's a sentence that I've said. But nevertheless, Overdrive Simracing puts a very good move on the Lawnmower Mercedes. I have to wonder if the Mercedes had a little bit of damage limiting their speed in a straight line. Usually the AMG is a lot better on the pit straight than the McLaren, but very, very clean pass, and the number 24 LMP going for a deep dive on both of them. But, very well done from both the GT drivers, staying out of the way, on board with the Diamond Shaft Porsche. Let's listen to that, flat 6. And it's gone. Now some views of the track in general. Everyone's starting to get a little closer together to each other. There's a bit more open space on the track with no cars on it. There's a bit of a train that's entering Sector 3 right now as we get a look at the Arbaz Motorsport number 88 McLaren. SDR lapping yet another GT. This time it's the Scuff GP car. Clean pass to the inside. Another pass. I originally thought that was for position. It's the number 3 LMP passing the ANH McLaren again. Both navigating the corner well, and the Speedonk car is going to be the next LMP to take the ANH McLaren. Another LMP making an overtake there to the Overdrive Simracing number 4. He's had a neat little change of pace from battling the Lawnmower Racing Mercedes to now being pretty lonely where he is on track. As we've got a Mercedes and a Porsche in a dogfight right now. LMP2 arriving on the scene. We got to leave space. And there's a bunch of cars around there. We might have a car off track. Can't quite tell. I believe that was not a pass for position. Ooh, flashing of headlights from the Porsche behind. I don't think he was too happy with the number 17 Mercedes ahead. But they are nose to tail. I'm fairly sure this is for position.
I don't believe so. I believe the Porsche is in P27 and the Merc in 17, so it could just be they're putting a faster driver or just on a newer rubber.
And definitely wouldn't be flashing the headlights if they weren't frustrated with at least something. And SDR has boxed, potentially for a driver swap. But we've got a few battles beginning to start to heat up a little bit. 2 minutes 38 left in this endurance race. There's the 16 Porsche. He's got a little bit of pressure in his mirrors from a Mercedes and a McLaren. But I don't think it's going to be too much of a concern for him, as another LMP2 completes a lap around the 69 Mercedes. And here we go with another Mercedes getting passed around the outside. 44 going for a huge slide. Can he save it? He can. That was well held throughout the corner. The 44 Mercedes getting a huge slide on and bringing it back. It's a good thing the police can stay in this one. Might be the A&H Mclaren. Yeah, it is the A&H Mclaren. Looks to the left side. He's going to try to put a move on the Red Suns Mercedes into turn 1. We'll see if he completed it. I believe he has A&H Racing up to 19th overall. As People Racing in their LMP2 makes another pass on the GT car. Typical West Midlands police. I wouldn't know, but it was a pretty good-looking slide. The Mannschaft Porsche almost getting pushed off the track by the Corgi Racing LMP. And here is the Red Suns Mercedes, holding up the 84, or the 24 rather. Little bit, but it's no matter. The LMP2 just powers by on the straight. SDR out of the pits, P6 overall. Passes the Birmingham crew, and it looks like Arbaz Motorsport in the pits. Either they're in the pits or they've spun. I don't think they've spun. They're in P18 overall right now. Here's the P19 car of Scuffed Racing, making it down the front straightaway. They have replaced A&H for 19th overall. Oh, here's A&H. Fighting with Cristiano Ronaldo. A&H again to the left side. The 16 slots in behind and will elect to follow the McLaren.
It looks like Bahrain Straight has come in for a driver swap or a pit stop. It's the gap between first and second is closing rapidly.
Yeah, it would appear so. And we have the Lynx Racing McLaren from P1 in class trying to complete a lap around Overdrive Sim Racing, and yeah, we have confirmed that Bering Strait is into the pits. Let's see if they can rejoin P2 and try to chase down Peepo Racing to bring P1 back into their sights. A&H Racing up to 19th overall in their battle. Mercedes looks to the inside of the Speedo Racing Porsche. There was contact there. Porsche gets sent to the outside line, and it's a drag race down the pit straight. Mercedes has the advantage now. Porsche slips into the toe. Might try to go for something in turn 1. Actually, I think the Mercedes might have extended his advantage. It's not for position. The Mercedes is ahead. Looks like the 37 Porsche did not try to make a move on the 86 and will elect to stay behind and just have a little less intensity in their race. And those Oregas are very, very fast. Ooh, and the Team Foyer almost going off track, and the A&H McLaren goes off track. I think that was just understeer. Wouldn't you agree?
Certainly looks like it. May have just got the corner wrong with the LMP coming up behind. May have been a bit flustered and went a bit wide. I know how it feels.
Yeah, it wasn't very wide of a line, but definitely lost him time. They've lost the position to the number 68 Porsche, and they're going to be looking to try to claw that time back. Here's the Brum Brum Racing McLaren off track. I think he's just he's messed up his braking point, locked up or something, but he's got back on track. He's right now behind the number 68 Porsche, although now it's by some considerable distance. And I'm going to leave it with you for a minute, Naughty.
So 1 hour and a half into this race, and positions have kind of settled down, only changing really during pit stops. But I suspect we've got plenty of action to go as we ride on board with the Porsche. Cordy Racing puts another lap on the yellow Porsche. Can't remember. I believe that is Diamondschaft. Forgive my awful German.
Alright, come back.
Team Alpha did a pit stop as the gap between Thunder and Team Alpha has come down. It's now only 100 seconds between them.
I think there may have been a little side-to-side contact between the Peepo. It was either Peepo or Bearing Straight and the Lost in Pace McLaren. And the Lost in Pace McLaren also has the A&H racing car within a second of them. Maybe if we get a look at that. But, yeah, that is a battle for position for P18 overall. I think it's 7th in class. The Scuffed GP Porsche is just above them. Thunder racing car that Naughty will be driving soon. Heads around on the outside. And Arbaz on the inside, just leaving it there, letting the faster cars through. Just keeping it very relaxed in their race. Nowhere to be quite yet. 2 hours, 28 minutes left. for the Porsche. And yeah, the 24 car, that's what it was. Going for another lunge down the inside of a GT car to try and pick up more pace, more track position, get out of the dirty air the large GT3s ahead. But yeah, another pretty quiet segment of the race here. Most of the cars fairly spread out, and just the usual flow of LMP2 traffic getting past the GT traffic. We might have an overtake heading down into turn 1. We've got a few cars close to the Diamond Shaft Porsche. There's I think one may have went into the pits. It was looking like we'd have some side-by-side action down into T1, but it would appear not. Lynx Racing still holds the lead of GT3, and Bering Strait reclaims the lead of LMP2. They are about almost 30 seconds clear of Pipo Racing, their closest competitor in P2, and they're about 7 seconds clear of SDR in P3 for the prototype class. AMG Team Foyer in 11th and 2nd for GT3, and the Birmingham crew 3rd for GT3.
Just going to spend a penny, so you've got the commentating booth.
We've got a car off track. That's the Flower Picker's Porsche, I believe. Yeah. Oh, and the Speedo LMP's off track. He's gone wide. Might have had a lockup. Might have had some understeer, but it looks like he's recovered. Still 7th overall and in class. They are about, I'd say, 17 seconds behind the Wadsworths in P6, but are well clear of the Dacia team in P8. Here's a battle for position down the front straightaway. McLaren versus Mercedes. The AMG has the advantage, and there's another pass between Lost in Pace and ANH Racing. This one for position and a fight for P18 overall. It looks like Lost in Pace is going to come out the better of it, and the Lawnmower Racing Mercedes gets a little nervous on corner exit. It's got the Arbaz 720 behind, but the Mercedes holds the position. P22 is going to look to defend from, of course, P23, Arbaz Motorsport. That's your third in GT3, the number 44 Mercedes. Just tailing its nearest prototype, and it looks like the Lawnmower Racing car has stretched a little bit more of an advantage over the McLaren behind. Oh, spinner up at the top of the hill. Seems to be off the racing line. So McLaren is a bit jumpy of a McLaren. They are back moving again. See, on board is 2 prototypes dive past for position, that is. It's Team Alpha and Dacia. They were just blazing by the Simtwats Porsche. Get a look at the Team Alpha car getting very close to the tail of the Red Sun's car with the Dacia prototype in hot pursuit. 68 Porsche letting all the faster traffic filter by. Well, we've got about 2 hours, 22 minutes left in this race. A couple of battles, and the Brum Brum McLaren goes wide again. That was the car that we saw spinning off the racing line just a lap ago, and they go wide. I believe on the exit of turn 1, entry to turn 2. And we got a Porsche using all the tracks, the Speedo Racing Porsche 37. It doesn't seem like they're going to suffer any long-term consequences from that. We have maybe a move going down into turn 1. Can't really tell from this angle. Lynx Racing gets a little nervous on exit there. Keeps it together, however. And is still leading by a considerable margin over AMG Team 4. Speedo Racing again using all the track, giving the Corgi Racing prototype plenty of space. Everybody's been keeping it pretty tidy throughout this one. We've only seen a couple of incidents in the last 15 or so laps, but the Red Sun's Mercedes getting passed by class leader Lynx Racing. On board with, this is the 17 Porsche. Ooh, the Flower Pickers Porsche gets a little nervous on corner exit there. Keeps on track, keeps it together, doesn't hit anything, doesn't spin. And 31 will continue on. Nice onboard look of the 720S GT3 with the Oreca prototypes flying by. 68 Porsche about to be lapped by the class leader. Well, maybe not quite for this lap. A couple of LMPs queuing up behind the 69 Mercedes. Speedo car is going to try and capitalize on the stack up, make up a couple of positions.
Just noticed the gap between Dacia and Thunder Racing has come down a fair bit, so next driver swap we may, or Thunder Racing may jump Dacia because Thunder have already done their time with pit stop, unlike Dacia, so...
Aren't you the next driver into the Thunder Racing car?
Yep.
Well, you'll have our man from the booth straight into that car and see if he can pass the Dacia team. But for now, things more or less remain as they are. Not a lot of drama really, but a few pretty close LMP2s, namely the Corgi Racing and the Wadsworth cars. SDR is still holding P3 in class and overall ahead of Corgi Racing. The gap is about 8 seconds at the moment, so maybe after the next round of pit stops we can see that come down with fresh tires, fresh drivers. But we have about 17 minutes until the next round of driver swaps, wouldn't you say, Howdy?
I would definitely say so, as people will try to maximize. But yeah, I suspect 2 hour mark will be driver swaps, as it's kind of fair on both drivers, giving them both equal amounts of time, unless one prefers to go in longer and one wants the other one to go in longer. But I suspect 2 hours will be the mark of driver swaps, so we shall see lots of kind of position changes, especially in the LMP2s.
And that LMP battle that we just saw was 4 position, by the way. It's the 24 and the 8 car, both within a second of each other. And number 24 goes for a cutback side by side, and the Team Alpha car stays ahead for now. But when they're this close, you can't really tell for sure. The Speedont car, the LMP, behind those two is not racing for position, just going to try to unlap himself. But it looks like the Team Alpha car is going to keep the advantage for now. He's about a second or 2 seconds ahead. He's got the Dacia car in between, the Dacia car is behind the number 24 Cheesy Balls car, but they are not racing for position. The Dacia is 1 lap down. But yeah, we're getting closer to the end of the stint here. About 15 3/4 minutes left, and tires are probably going to start falling off here soon. But the cars are going to get a lot lighter, less fuel. Drivers are going to want to, put in a last effort for their time in the car and really maximize what they've got: their setup, their tires, their fuel. As the Dacia car goes to unlap themselves on the 24. But there's also the flip side to that. The drivers that have been in the car have been in there for a while. It's they've started to fall off in pace a little bit, and the tires aren't gripping like they used to. So we might see a few more mistakes getting closer and closer to that in lap before the driver swap. But I would expect, like Naughty said, a lot of driver swaps around the 2 hour mark, just to split the race in half for the drivers. Oh, we got a car off. Looked to be a Porsche. Can't be too sure about that though. Oh, we got a car off right in front of the camera, really sideways into the grass. Those are definitely going to be local yellows. I believe it's the number 11. Mclaren had a huge moment on entry. Yeah, it is the number 11 Mclaren. Big moment on entry, came right at the camera. You could just make out the end fence of the rear wing. And they're going to go straight into the pits. That might be a side effect of what I was talking about earlier, the tires falling off at the end of the stint. So they go into pit, potentially for a driver swap, with about 13 minutes left until halfway. We see the beautiful ANH McLaren, lapped again by prototype Traffic, but just holding his line, trying to get position. And he is actually ahead of the Lawnmower Racing Mercedes that is in front of him on track. the time between the number 8 Team Alpha prototype and the number 24 Cheesy Balls prototype is still about 2 to 3 seconds at the moment. So, really, depending on who blinks first for pit stops, we might see a swap in position there for P7 overall. Porsche causing a little bit of drama with the faster class, splitting to Orekas. And the Dacia 1 elects to take the outside line, but the 24 was arriving on scene there. Now down the straightaway. Oh, here we go, back to the... Ooh, I don't know about that move from the 75. I don't think the driver of the 24 is too happy with that. You saw his lights flash on after the 75. Kind of an abrupt move. I don't think it was malicious in intent. I don't think it was supposed to block, but 24 was just being safe and didn't move for the pass. I don't think that made him too happy as we get another look at the A&H Mclaren. Here's the Birmingham crew getting lapped by People Racing. They are 13th overall, third in class. Not a whole lot of shuffling around in the GT3 order right now, but we might see a few more position changes for LMP2 leading up to and after this next round of pit stops. See a line of prototypes there with a Mercedes right in the middle of them. But there's Steven again, that almost cursed camera angle. And the Corgi racing car going to try to navigate its way around the Mercedes in front. He's got the job done. Yes, I believe so. And the number 31 Porsche watches 2 prototypes head by on the outside. He's going to try to get some more distance on the next driver behind. Here's the 5th in class prototype, the Speedont car, pulling away from the 22nd overall Cristiano Ronaldo racing car. Here's lost in pace, and the STR prototype. Predictably, the GT3 slots in just behind.
And I've just heard that from insider information that the Brum Brum Racing has been parked. So
that is that's big for the overall course of their race. Do you know what it was for? Connection problems or driving standards?
I think it's just driving standards potentially. It's a shame to see them go, but if they're causing a hazard, then unfortunately they do pose a risk to other drivers.
Yeah, sometimes race control just has to make a pretty difficult decision to park them. Shame to see them go, like Naughty said, as they ran a pretty good race overall. Mostly stayed out of trouble, had a few mishaps on their own, but yeah, that'll be the first official DNF for the race. Pika Roshu, our race director, has decided that Brum Brum Racing, the number 11 McLaren, has been parked for the remainder of this race with about 2 hours, 8 minutes left. I'm sure we'll get a few words from him afterward, but yeah, it is what it is for now. But right now, not a ton of action, but Yeah, it is. It appears that Brumbrum Racing was having PC issues and internet issues as well, so that would contribute to the decision to park them for the rest of the race, be it the entire decision or just partially. But at any rate, it is unfortunate to lose a team out of the race, and we hope to see him back in the next one. Here's class lead Lynx Racing. The Mclaren going to lap the Sim to watch Porsche. And another Porsche, this one of Scuff GP, being lapped by SDR. So coming up on about 2 hours, 6.5 minutes left. In the overall race, all the drivers are pretty spread out across the track. There's a couple groups of 2 here and there, but overall, looking at the deltas, not a whole lot of very close racing. We do have one driver that's tucked into the pits. I think they are the first to blink in terms of pits and driver swaps. We got another one in the pits. I think this is going to start the trend of everyone ducking the pits, getting new tires, getting new drivers, and picking up some more gas. So let's see what the next 5 minutes has in store for this stint. We are just 5 minutes from halfway. Nice view from the starting gantry. All the cars flying by at speed, hurtling toward turn 1. A&H Racing McLaren shooting flames out of the twin exhaust into turn 1. They've been having a good race, even though I think they've dropped out of the top 20.
I'm going to have to love you and leave you as I go and get ready for my stint. It was great commentating, and I'm sure my fellow teammate Boz will join you in the booth just in a minute.
Yeah, thanks for keeping me sane up here. Good luck in your stint.
Thank you.
So now you're left with me and my very dry throat talking for at least a little bit. We'll have Boz in shortly, and maybe for third stint we can get a visit from Steven in the booth. We'll keep you up to date on that. Right now the clock is winding away past 4 minutes. So I think in the next 4 minutes we're going to see a lot of driver changes. We're definitely going to see the Thunder Racing car pull in, and when it does pull in, we're going to switch it out. Naughty Dragon 05, who's just in the booth with me, is going to hop in, and I believe Boz is driving now. He will jump out and into the commentary box with me. But yeah, overall, start of the race very action-packed. A lot of individual incidents and a couple bits of contact.
I'm driving.
He's not driving. He's in the box right now. Hi, Boz.
Hello.
So, have you done your stint yet?
Yeah. So, it's Stephen driving right now, and he's doing a fantastic job making up for the awful stint that I had. So,
yeah, it's It's been a hectic start. You started the race, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So just walk us through what it was like from your perspective, being being in the LMP2 field, going through those first 10 laps.
For the first, like, 5 or 6, I'd say it was going very well. But then, unfortunately, I just ran into a few issues with GT cars, and yeah, I got tagged, and I had to wait for a while for the field to pass. Then I got tagged again, had to wait even longer, and yeah, it just sort of threw me for a loop, and yeah, it was a bit of a struggle for like the last, I'd say, about 40 minutes of the stint. It was just a struggle to keep a good pace and to keep going.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep up with a lot of different races along through the roughly 2 hours that we've been racing here. The start was pretty hectic, but moving closer and closer to where we are now, we've had a lot of isolated fights. We had a big heroic slide from the Birmingham crew in that Mercedes, but other than that, the field's pretty spread out. There isn't a whole lot to talk about here. But yeah,
no, it's pretty spread out. But I imagine as the driver swaps happen, we shall see some more drivers get close together on track, and hopefully the action will pick up again.
Yeah, it's always great when there's people really gunning for it side by side, especially when this much is on the line. There's still 2 hours of racing left.
Oh, there's a spin. That looks like the Cheesy Balls car.
If we could get a look at that, we'd of course switch to that. But I think, judging by the little mini map, they've gotten rolling again. Cheesy Ball's car is just a few seconds back.
No, it was the Alpha car.
Oh, okay. Well,
they're both bright blue, so it's very difficult to say.
I couldn't tell if he got helped around. There were a lot of cars nearby that potentially could have contributed to that spin, but it was a pretty violent one going.
Yeah, I mean, it could have just been getting power on the curves, or it could have been there was a GT3 that might have tipped him around, or he might just cut across and sort of seal his own fate there. But either way, it's a right shame when that happens.
Yeah, especially if it's the GT3 traffic getting a little flustered and getting in the way of the LMP2. That's you said that's how you got tagged a couple of times.
Yeah, certainly. And the other thing is that when I was in my race, if you look at the stream here, going through Arrabbiata 1 and 2, I had a GT3 slow down to try and let me pass between the two corners, and that is not safe whatsoever. Just keep driving, I'll stick behind you and I'll overtake when it's safe. Don't fret about that. It's just like, it's far more dangerous to just kind of keep on the anchors and try and let me pass in the fastest part of the circuit.
Yeah, and we have now just a few seconds underneath 2 hours left to go. We've crossed the halfway point. So if a lot of drivers haven't been swapped out now on a previous lap, they're going to be swapped out on this one, which has the potential to shake up the field a lot. But being in the LMP2 field overall, how has the driving standards been for the GT3 guys that you've been trying to weave around?
Varied, I'd say. Some are, you can sort of, where they're going to put their car, where they're going to be, situated on the track, so you can, think, okay, I'm going to pass them right here, and I know they're not going to change the line. Some, it's a bit more of an issue. Some will sort of, basically they'll drive like it's a hot lap and not realise that there's a driver trying to pass you from a different class, which is, in fact, how I got spun around the first time. As we see, that is a bit of a risky move from the Speedon't car around the cursed Cristiano Ronaldo car. It worked, but if there was someone coming out of pits, that would have been a bit dangerous.
Yeah, whoever was in the 23 really committed to making that pass on the inside. That really kind of speaks to your point there, what the 16 Porsche did there. A bit of varied driving standards, because we've seen, countless very clean, very smooth overtakes of LMP2s around the GT cars, but that Porsche was holding its line just like it should, and then moved almost defensive on the
it's the issue, I think, of a lot of these GT3 guys driving like they're not in a multi-class race, and so and I think they may also have the idea that when we say stick to your line, they think it means stick to the racing line. It doesn't. It means stick to the line you're on, and hold it until the car comes past. We're not asking you to let us pass. We're just saying, okay, you've committed to get inside the outside of the circuit. Just stay there, let the car go past, and focus on racing after that.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of that is to be expected when we have pro-am teams of licensed drivers and potentially people who are newer to Charge or maybe newer to Assetto Corsa in general.
Yeah,
and,
it is to be expected. And one of the big ones I had was coming down from Casanova to Arrabbiata 1, which is the downhill chicane into the 2 uphill sweepers. The racing line for that is to go right on the outside in the exit of Casanova, and then back on the outside to the entry of Arrabbiata 1. And again, there's space for an LMP2 to overtake there, and and again, if they do overtake there, they'll usually pass around the outside and take that line, but several GT3s will just continue to take the racing line regardless of who's behind them and just cut across, and that is exactly how my biggest issue occurred in my stint, was someone cutting across to take the traditional racing line, as we should see here with the flower pickers, as you can see, going from one curb out to the other. If there's an LMP2, usually you'd stick close to the inside, get a good exit, but no, they came across as I was coming past and was spun into the gravel.
Yeah, it's also a very high speed segment there, so really getting the right run out of there to keep on pace with the other LMP2s is very important there, which if it was me, it'd lead to a lot of frustration if the GT is holding their line and you're trying to get around, especially mid-fight. But overall, we've seen plenty of clean, safe LMP2 passes, just like what we're seeing on screen now. And the occasional hairy moment.
Oh yes, I saw that. That was very close to just cutting across the front of an GT3.
Yeah, and that also brings up the point that it's also the responsibility of the LMP2 to pass. It's it's not the GT driver's job to make sure the pass is done cleanly, and that one was cleanly completed by probably a couple of inches tops, but especially at that high speed.
It was a close one.
I thought there was contact. I thought the
as I say, for the LMPs, it's the responsibility to overtake cleanly, but it's also the GT3s to be predictable to what they want to do. So again, that's no sort of like changing your line in the middle of a part of the track when there's a car coming up behind you. Just in the same way that for an LMP, we won't try and overtake in a really, really silly part of the track.
Yeah.
It's all about mutual respect, and sometimes that's unfortunately not offered.
Yeah, and part of that's just multi-class racing in general, but it is good that even in a game like Assetto Corsa that wasn't really designed for this, we can still have driver swaps, we can still have long distance events like this. Even if the game as standard doesn't really support that kind of thing, and it just speaks to how great the modding community for this game is. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those games that even years after its release just keeps on giving. So we can have these mods that are just fantastic in quality, and we're able to run a full endurance race in a game that was never really intended to do endurance racing whatsoever.
Yeah, especially when the original Assetto Corsa launch on Steam was in 2014, and we're now in 2021 still racing this game, and it's still one of the best on the market.
Oh, easily. It still looks fantastic, and the community is will probably keep this game alive for decades to come, I'd say.
Yeah, but the custom shaders patch, the RSS cars, content manager, all that great stuff is just really giving this game new life, and every week or so there's a new track or a new car mod that changes the game up and gives everyone something new to drive. And there's great modding companies like Racing Studio, which even for mods that are paid, when the vast majority are free, they still have excellent quality. They're great to drive.
Oh yeah, I mean, of the stuff that I've kind of bought from people like RSS and VRC, is the quality is sometimes even better than the sort of the cars in game already, and that says a lot because a lot of the cars in game already are very, very high quality.
Yeah, most of the base Kunos cars are, just easily some of the best in the business. And,
Oh yeah.
Places like RSS can just make something brand new and just turn the quality all the way up. And even though they are paid mods, they aren't very expensive as far as mods go. Especially with the they have a sale on right now. I bought a couple packs yesterday for roughly the price of a meal, and I got about 9 cars of all extreme quality. And I love driving all of them. The classic GT ones from around 04.
Yeah.
Bit of a moment there.
Oh, that's a bit of a moment from SimTwats, yes. But yes, those mid 2000s GT cars, they are probably for me one of the best mods in general for Assetto Corsa.
Very difficult to drive, but very rewarding. Sound amazing, look great. Also, the Formula cars are my favorites.
Yeah.
But right now, Pipo Racing leads from. Ooh, that's a bit close to the white line.
That's on the grass. That's on the grass.
Track. He's gonna try to pull that back.
Oh, that was the plow pickers just forcing him a little bit wide.
He completed the pass though. The Cocorico racing car, and the Porsche is going to go back down the inside.
And it cuts away just as we were going to see that.
Yeah, unfortunately that's been a recurring theme here. But
I mean, the Cocorico car also does have the Burnout 2 logo on its side, so it was a bit of a burnout pass.
Yeah, definitely one of those great passes in the grass. I'm surprised the Mercedes could keep momentum all the way through that after having to make the evasive action and hold speed while 2 tires were on the grass.
Yeah, the thing with the Mercedes, from what I've driven with these GT3 cars, is the Mercedes has a lot of grunt. It's got great sort of like out of corner acceleration top end. Porsche not so much. It tends to struggle a little bit in the straights, but it's very agile, and so around the corners it can just be placed exactly where you want it.
Yeah, and these models are based off of ones from Assetto Corsa Competizione, so the physics more or less can almost carry over. And based on my experience with the 911 in that game, it's a very agile, precise car.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, Bering Strait Racing leads from Pipo Racing, and Speedont is up to P3 now. That's a fairly big shake-up there, as they were. No, it was the GT3, the Speedo GT3 that was caught up in some action earlier on.
Yeah.
But regardless, the 23 Speedont car is third in class and third overall. Corgi Racing P4, SDR 5th. 6th place goes to number 24 Cheesy Balls, and Team Alpha in 7th, Dacia in 8th, and Thunder Racing, unfortunately for you, Buzz, brings up P9 in class and overall, and leading the GT3s right now is actually that's AMG Team Foyer, and number 69 Mercedes behind them in 2nd, and Lynx Racing drops back to 3rd in class. I believe that's due to a driver swap, because they were well ahead. They were well ahead of the field in GT, but they might be able to.
Oh, and here is that. Again, I can't quite tell which corner that. Oh, it's the final chicane, and that just looked a little bit sketchy from the McLaren.
Yeah, usually when an LMP2 gets that close to the tail of a GT, usually the GT did something unexpected, and the LMP2 has to jump off the throttle very quickly and try to avoid making contact. But really well done to avoid any kind of drama there. Heading onto the pit straight. Let's go on board. So you were talking about earlier how you got caught up in lap traffic and that kind of just messed up your overall run. How has that affected your strategy, or has it even affected it at all?
It's not really. Again, the main thing that it affected in strategy terms was that I pitted about 10 minutes before I needed to. But the main issue, of course, was the fact that the contact and the spins and the fact that I had to wait a lot put me so far behind that it was very difficult for me to make any real ground up. Oh, that was a close one from the Cheesy Balls and the Mike Hawk racing car. Again, it's going into Arabiata 1. That's a pretty tricky thing. Unless you're right alongside, that's a very tricky lapping manoeuvre to do.
Oh,
as
car
the gravel as well.
There's two.
Oh, it's the
There
overdrive
seems to
racing
be
car
contact
and the lawnmower racing car, I think.
There, you have to assume there was contact there, with one being in the sand trap and the other one being on the grass. But I don't think either of them were in the range of our leaderboard here as we have. I think a car.
Overdrive was.
Oh, they were. Well, that is disastrous for them. And it would appear that.
Well, that was a slide from the Cristiano Ronaldo car. That looks scary from the onboard.
Yeah, and it would appear that Lynx Racing fell back to P3 in class because of a driver change.
Mm-hmm.
So that would make plenty of sense. Here's the overdrive sim racing car on the tail of said Lynx Racing McLaren. A lot of damage to the front of both of them. Damage got reduced to 60% of its normal effect in this race. Did you suffer any serious damage from your incidents earlier?
I didn't. The main thing that I suffered was rear body damage with the tags. I thought I'd suffered more than I had. I was only on yellow, as it turns out, but it was still enough to make the car a bit difficult to drive. So it was best to pit and get that sorted rather than sort of risk any further incidents. But yeah, I mean, damage does play a huge part. If you do get a big tag, it can affect the race. What's car goes off? What happened there?
Oh, and the Dacia car around the outside of the Birmingham crew. Bit of a sketchy one there. Dacia car didn't have a whole lot of track to go toward. But yeah, we've just had some strange incidents of cars on their own as we've gone through the first 15 minutes of this stint. About an hour 45 left on the docket for racing at Mugello here.
Yeah, I think people are probably starting to get a little bit tired, and so mistakes are probably going to creep in for some people, especially if they haven't swapped drivers. I know some probably won't have done. They're probably doing like a 2 hours 30, 1 hour 30, because I know the maximum stint time is 2.5 hours. So yeah, it might just be the occasional sort of slip up because they've been driving for so long and they're just getting very, very tired.
And now that we're past the halfway point of the event, you really want to start limiting mistakes to zero, because you really want to, if you are going to be the driver that goes to the end, you want to have a solid handle on the setup. You want to be in tune with the tires. You want to be able to manage your fuel well. And this is kind of where you want to start setting up in the next hour or so for that final push to the end that you've been planning for this whole time. Because, with hour 44 left, Naughty Dragon earlier said that he figured it would be about 30 minutes left when drivers really start to turn it on and try to get more out of the car. But really right now it's kind of a crucial period to set up for that and make sure that you're there to make that push.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, and also from looking at, from sort of information that I am looking at, it seems that the Dacia team have not yet had a driver swap. It looks like they're going for the 2 hours 30 and 1 hours 30 strategy. Will that pay off? Who knows? I'm not entirely sure if it's CD or Bogdan in the car yet. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that happens.
Yeah, especially if they go for the 2 hours 30 driver swap, because that doesn't leave them. Well, it leaves them about the same hour to prepare, but.
We just got a message. Gt3 have swapped their drivers.
Okay, so that would answer that question. They aren't going for the full 2 hours 30, but they do have a bit of a longer stint than usual. As you can just once again see the speed differential between the Porsche and the Areca on the straightaway. It's just massive, and here comes the Mercedes. Goes for a deep lunge. I don't know if he can make that stick. Oh, he can. He doesn't drift further past mid-corner. Great overtake from the number 69 of Mike Hawk Racing. But overall, since you've driven the LMP2 for a stint, how long can the tires really last while maintaining an effective level of grip?
I'd say those the medium tires can last probably about 45 minutes before you'd really need to consider changing them. You can, again, if you're a decent driver, you can make them last that sort of length. Hards can go for a bit over an hour, but the pace differential between the mediums and the hard, it's about 5 seconds a lap, and so again you are well over a pit stop behind by the time those tires reach the end of their life.
There's been a Punterino.
That was a lap traffic as well.
The 69 Mercedes saves it well, but goes off track just afterward.
Yeah,
but
that was almost certainly the Simtwats car's fault, because they were a whole lap down. And again, if you try and run it yourself, don't do it like that, please.
Yeah, that was a attempted murder on the class leader right now. Mm-hmm. Mercedes is 11th overall, first in class, and I mean, I don't know what happened to the number 68 Porsche, but they came in at a rate of speed into the back of Merc.
Again, a little bit of personal information. I had that issue happen to me during one of the practice races right towards the end. I was lapping him, and they missed their braking zone and just knocked me off the circuit.
By any chance, was it at that corner?
The second glass hairpin, yes, it was.
Interesting. So lessons potentially learned from the practice race carrying over to the real deal. But I asked about the tires because of the pit stop strategy from Dacia. If they pitted at 1 hour 45 remaining, if they're on the mediums, they could potentially do one more stop to the end, and if they went to the hards, they would have another stop with roughly about an hour left, about hour 45 minute, or what am I saying? 30 minutes to 45 minutes left in the race if they went on the hards now, and they could potentially go on to the softs if they could last.
It's from my experience driving the LMP, the softs they overheat very quickly. So there's no real benefit compared to the mediums. Lap times aren't considerably faster, and the tires just overheat after about a lap. So for the mediums, though, that's kind of the prime tire for running here. The hards, again, is if you are planning on. I think we're okay. That looks clean. I don't know if there was a tap
the pass beforehand. Was clean, but heading up the hill, there might have been one.
That might have been, yeah. Is this an on-track battle?
This is Speedo and Dacia.
No, this is lapping.
Is the LMP2 behind Speedont, but Speedont is currently second, and Bearing Straight remains first in class. After dropping back a little bit, they dropped behind Pipo Racing after they made a stop, and it would appear that Pipo Racing has made a stop of their own.
Yep, they're looking to change drivers, so that would probably be Perea going in and Shallow coming out. Again, they are looking a very hot ticket today.
Yeah, Pipo and Bearing Straight in qualifying were extremely close.
And they've come back out from their driver swap, still in first, by the looks of it.
So we've got a bit of a more developing battle between Bearing Straight and Pipo. Like I said, very close in qualifying. The gap really opened up on track. Bearing Straight just left everyone in the dust in the first couple of stints, putting up about, I think it was 2.5 seconds in 2 laps over the nearest competitor before everyone had to pick their way around GT3 traffic. But it would appear that Sam Wadsworth is in the number 3 car at the moment.
Yeah.
And
Sam, not exactly the most regular appearance with Charge, but every time he does drive, he is very quick and very clean. So, yeah. So this should be a fairly good stint for Wadsworth, and so hopefully they can jump in the top 5s with the race going as it is. It looks quite possible.
yeah, right now they're holding down P6 right now with SDR. I would want to say about 40 to 50 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
Not quite a full length of the road. With, an hour 37 left is definitely doable to pick up pace, especially if, people start to get a little too fatigued, make some mistakes, which they turn their force feed back a little further down later in the race. But, it would appear that Pipo did a swap, so now they are, they're doing a swap right now because of the...
So Baron Strait is ahead of them right now. But will they maintain second, or will they drop down to third? It's going to be close.
They have about 10 seconds before Speedon is going to pass them. We might be able to get a look as we head down the pit straight now. It appears as if... Is that Dacia that just went in? It would appear as if Speedon... Yeah, Speedon is now up to second. And she's...
And Colby Racing is up to third.
Yeah, it looks like Pipo dropped back down to 5th. I don't think they're going to go all the way to 6th, though. They have about 50 seconds to the number 3. A little bit of damage to the door of the 17. A little bit of oversteer on exit there. We've been I thought that Corey Racing LMP was going to head around. He looked like he entered the corner a bit too hot.
Yeah. That again. Sometimes it looks a lot closer than it is, and nothing happens. And then sometimes it looks really sort of obvious, and then all hell breaks loose. Like
that one dive bomb from the number 69. I did not think he was within range of doing that, but held it. Under brakes, made it stick, got it to the mid corner at its very furthest to the outside. It was really good move, probably one of the ones of the race.
No, it's certainly your underestimation of Mike Hawke.
Yeah. But overcorrection, and the 75 has nosed into the tire barrier.
Bizarre. Very, very bizarre one. It was just a flick and then into the wall.
He's backed up a little bit. I would think he would, if he was going to lose it in that corner to oversteer, it'd be a little earlier. It looked like he made it stick and then just
violently ripped the wheel to the other side and just dropped it.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. But Mercedes nosed into the barrier. He's back running again. But yeah, that was a bit of a weird one. But luckily the damage wasn't so severe that he could keep, he had to stay in the dirt. Had a pretty good opening after him, all things considered, and was able to get back on track pretty quickly. I don't know how critical that damage is going to be to the handling of the Mercedes, especially if it's a very straight line oriented car. It would need a lot of help in the.
You'll probably be fighting a fair amount of understeer if the front split has been damaged quite a bit, and that looked like a fairly hefty hit into the barriers. So at the speed that it kind of speared off into the runoff, I don't think there was much time for him to react to that and begin to apply the brakes. So yeah, I think the wall did most of the damage there and most of the stopping.
but we carry on regardless of the 4 hours of Mugello. Bering Strait still overall in the lead. Speedont P2, Corgi Racing P3, and down in GT3, the number 69 Mercedes leads from the 39 McLaren and the 42 McLaren. Really strong showing from the 720Ss in this one. I think they locked out about 4 of the top 5 spots in qualifying, and then there's 2 of them in the top 3.
Yeah, the 720S is one of those cars where with a standard setup, it is very easy to drive, but maybe not the quickest. But when you set it up, it is sensationally fast. And so it tends to be the one that the guys who maybe don't have the most experience pick, but also some of the fastest guys have picked it because you can work some real setup magic with this thing.
Yeah, especially if you're really in tune with how the car can respond to setups. It also, I think, would really help that it's a very, like, the engine isn't very large. It's mid-engine, has good weight distribution, good aero compared to the Mercedes front engine. That's just a missile down the straightaways, and the Porsche's rear engine that can make it nimble in the corners. Kind of a little bit of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, the Mercedes is the SMS Emden. In all reality, it is just an entire World War I battleship that we've stuck a front wing on. So, yeah, it's very difficult to drive around the corners. It is very easy and consistent, but again, to drive to really hustle it around the circuit, it does get quite difficult.
And it can definitely bite, like we saw earlier. If you just get it a little wrong, the front end will still grip even when you're sliding. But you can probably contrast that to a big slide we saw from the number 44 Birmingham crew. They had a massive slide. I forget which corner it was, but they basically made it the entire corner holding it. But definitely very impressive considering how twitchy it can be once you go over the limit a little bit and start to lose grip on the rear.
Yeah. It is, again, it's one of those cars where everything happens in kind of slow motion, I suppose. Everything's... Because it's so big, it's like you do have time to react. Whereas in the Porsche, it's so pointy and on edge that if it does snap, it's going to snap around quite severely.
Yeah, and especially when you've got that engine just behind the rear axle that can just carry you around if you don't keep it in check enough. But I don't think the Porsches have had too much of a problem keeping it together. Oh, I say that. Oh, there's 2 gone.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I have just... Oh, commentator's curse. That sucks. I have just cursed. I think it was the...
It was the...
Diamond Shaft car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that when you rewatch the stream. Totally just punted you. And it's unfortunate that the Speedont car from P2 overall got caught up in that. I didn't see any contact. It may have just been... I think maybe they raced each other into the corner a bit hard and lost grip, or...
Now, again, round that corner, I think one of the big issues is that it can be hard for a GT3 to spot its braking because the LMP2s, they don't have ABS, so they may brake actually a little bit early for that corner, and so you might get a bit distracted from the braking lights, and it can just lead to a slight touch, and around you go.
I don't think there was a lot of serious contact there, so I don't think the number 23 is going to have to pit at all. But as a result, it is now a 2-second gap from the number 2, or the number 2 on track driver, the 23 Speedont car, and the number 6 Corgi Racing car. So we need to keep an eye on that as this race develops. It's a little Porsche versus McLaren.
But that's not the position, unfortunately. Team Red Suns again. Speedont is coming back up against them, so it looks like that hasn't damaged them too much. And that's a very good pass around the outside. That's how you do it around Arabiatas. You just the GT3, you take a wider line, just keep it nice and firm. The LMP2s will absolutely just come to the inside, and they won't have an issue with it because even them losing a touch of speed,
they can nail the apex.
Exactly. Because even around Arabiatas, the LMP2s can just sort of back off a little bit. They're still going to be a lot faster than a GT3 around there.
Yeah. We are under an hour and a half to go for the 4 hours of Mugello for charge. Right now, it's Lynx Racing back on top in GT3 with Lost in Pace behind and AMG Team Foyer in third place. I believe the number 69 has dropped back for a driver change, which would make perfect sense considering we've reached another 30-minute milestone. Someone in chat can probably confirm that for me. But Bearing Straight leads from Speedont, who is just barely ahead of Corgi Racing. If we could switch to that, that'd be fantastic. But the two are very close on the same lap, and it's a gap of less than 2.5 seconds.
Yep.
And it looks like James in the 69 was looking to driver swap, on exactly 2 hours 30 minutes in the car.
Yeah. Swapping for Raph Hodgson, who is he's fairly in charge, but he's also very, very quick. So again, just keep an eye out for the number 69 Mike Hawk Racing. They shall be again one to watch.
Yeah, especially when they've proven that they have the pace to lead, and they're actually up to. Oh, there's another Porsche gone. The McLaren barely dodged it. Off the wall, though.
And will they rejoin safely? Let's see.
There's not a whole lot of traffic behind.
They should be all right.
To get back on track, it now would be the time. But before that happened, I was going to say that the Mike Hawk Racing is up to P3 in class behind the Lost in Pace McLaren and the Lynx Racing McLaren.
As it looks like the Thunder Racing car is going to unlap itself from the SDR car.
Thunder Racing being, of course, your team, Boz, so I'm sure you're very excited to see your drivers begin to claw their way back from an unfortunate start.
I am very much excited for that, yes. As I say that, got past right there.
Clean overtake there.
Yeah.
The Thunder Racing LMP2 sparks flying from the tail of the SDR car. But overall, with an hour and 25, what would be going through your head, thinking about how you're going to do the end of this race if you're in it all the way until the checkered flag?
Again, kind of keep it clean, try and avoid as much contact as possible, leave space, pick your overtaking positions, well in advance, think, I'm approaching him here, when am I going to be alongside him? It'll be there, and then, make the pass with as much space as possible. Obviously, that's never going to be foolproof, but it's usually best to just plan ahead and keep your head in the game.
So, yeah, obviously, with an hour and 25, there's a lot of time left for something to happen. You want to be very deliberate with all of your moves, your apexes and exits, your overtaking maneuvers. Stefan gifting 6 subs to the community. Thank you, Stefan.
Yep.
But, yeah, overall, it's not quite time to start pushing yet. That would probably happen in about an hour. But
Yeah.
do you think most of these drivers are going to be in it till the end, or are we going to see one more round?
There may be a couple who are going to be swapping, because I'm sure some of the 3 driver teams will have probably their sort of middle driver be doing 2 hours. Some may have had their 2-hour stint driver doing, far longer. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be a couple of driver swaps in the last towards the last hour. Whether it will help or whether it will be a hindrance, we're yet to see.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how the rest of this plays out with tire strategy and who's going to be driving what at what time. But while we wait for all the action to heat up, most of the drivers fairly evenly distributed throughout the track, and we're just watching the LMP2s fight past the GT3s.
Yeah.
The number 2 and the number 3 overall cars are quite close on pace. We're looking at the Mercedes splitting them. It's Speedont and Corgi Racing. You can see how far apart they are on track.
They are just 3 seconds apart on track.
but they are on the same lap. They are fighting for position, and they are fighting to see who gets the second step on the podium behind Bering Strait, who is 20 seconds clear of the both of them. And Peepo Racing is also on the lead lap. They are 40 seconds behind the leader, Bering Strait.
Yeah, by the looks of the times, everyone down to 6th place is on the lead lap. But again, because a quick lap in these is about 1 minute 30, is about 95 seconds, and well, actually is a little over 95 seconds, and 6th place is 96 seconds up the road, so they'll probably be lapped very shortly, but for now, they're on the lead lap.
Yeah, and like I said, with an hour 22 left, there's a lot that can happen. You can definitely make up a ton of places, or you could throw away a lot of time if you get caught out by traffic or just make a mistake, which is very easy to do this late in the race. A couple drivers going side by side in the background as you watch the Diamond Shaft car, the Porsche, make its way throughout the last few parts of the lap. Overall, this is a battle for position here. It's the Lawnmower Racing car trying to defend from the Arbaz Motorsport number 88 McLaren as they head through the final corner onto the straightaway. I'm going to expect the Mercedes to make a gap on the McLaren there, as we might. Oh, a little bit of counter steer there. I can't tell quite what car we're on board with, but it looks like the Porsche in the rear view mirror.
That's number 99 that spun. Looks by the looks of it.
A&H Racing number 99 McLaren seems to have had a little half spin, got back onto the racing surface safely. Nothing really of
that's
real there, but just unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the kind of rejoins we're looking for here.
Definitely. And James has invaded the booth.
Hello.
Good evening, guys. Hi, boys. Thank you very much for doing such a great job on the stream, boys. Just popping in to say hi. How's it going?
It's good.
Pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's exciting. I like the leaderboards right now. I'm really excited about my boys, Alex and Lance. I'm currently leading the LMP2 class. Of course, me and them, we missed out on the Daytona win by the cruelty of the disconnect, so I'd love to see my buddies in Bering Strait take the dub today. And just got out of the car, I'm shattered, and my boy Raph is now in the Mike Hawk machine, tearing it up. They say James is quiet. I can move my mic a bit closer. I'm so shattered. How has it been? How's it been for you guys? How was it for you guys?
It's been pretty good for me.
Well, for me, I've kind of just been hanging in there. I just constantly drinking a lot of water and then getting up to get rid of the water from my body, and then just going for more and more. Just trying to keep my voice intact, because 4 hours of this is going to just destroy me. But anyway, the first stint in the start was pretty awesome to watch. There were some incidents, there were some great passes, and we're just keeping up with the action, getting ready for kind of the last 30 minutes of frantic scrambling to try to see who can take the lead in the class.
Yeah.
We caught your enormous dive bomb down into turn 1 on the stream.
Oh yeah.
I from the camera angle we were watching it from, I thought you were far too distant from the car ahead to make that stick, and then you just drifted to the middle of the corner, and then you just planted for the rest of it.
Yeah,
but
saw me at my best and my worst today. I cannot believe I did that spin. It was so brutal. I'm kicking myself over that. I lost 50 seconds having to let everyone through. I think I was 25th, and then by the time I got out of the car, we were in first, so I'm pretty happy with myself. I just wish I hadn't lost all that time from that instant, otherwise Rafa would have a much easier job to do. But yeah, I'm really happy. My pace was really good the whole race, and I absolutely killed it with the overtakes. Yeah, that was definitely me at my best there. After I had that spin, all my butterflies were gone, I was focused, and I was on the kill.
So how panic-inducing was it to just be minding your own business, and then suddenly a multicolored Porsche comes running into you? Oh, hold on, we've got a McLaren off the track trying to make a pass. Goes for a switchback on the Lawson pace car, trying to unlap himself, and he gets it done. Clean overtake there, but yeah, what was it like getting a surprise bumper touch from the Simtwas car?
It wasn't that bad. I had 6 laps to go. I think I only lost 4 seconds from the contact. It could have been 5 hours. It was annoying, but you know, these things happen. So I yelled at them a little bit. I was probably a bit meaner than I should have been, but they were very apologetic. But that wasn't my main concern today. You know, I was my own worst enemy with that spin. That cost me more time than everything else put together times 2. So you know, I don't want to point the fingers too much. I got bullied a little bit in that stint, but you know, I don't blame them.
From how that contact looked from up here, it seemed like it could have been a lot worse with how fast the Porsche was approaching and how light we've seen the Mercedes rear end be mid-corner.
Because they had
Oh, they got a Porsche headed around. I think he brought it together, but a bit of a quarter spin. He's off track, rejoins safely, but he's got another Porsche bearing down on him. I also unfortunately cursed another Porsche. It was the which one was it? The Diamond Shaft one with the most perfectly timed commentator's curse I think ever. I was talking about how the Porsche seems very planted mid-corner, and then the next camera shot he's half spinning. So that'll be one for the highlight reel. But anyway, it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to keep up with the movement of all the big players in the field, even when SimHum leaderboard is not leaving P9.5. But overall, it's been a good race to watch. Watching these cars go around the track, the modeling work that Ren and Zeif have done is just fantastic, and these things just look great.
Yeah, this race has definitely been an achievement of community contribution. Everyone has absolutely poured their heart and soul into this. We had Fyodor, Ren working on the cars, Ren working on these GT3s, Fyodor busting his butt for them, making things like new LODs for the Mclaren, which is an absolute ball ache. Adrian and Elmo did incredible graphics works. I made the track skin. We have Pika Roshu giving us time to do race control all week. We have Camera giving us time to do the screen. Ramos
and my vocal cords.
Beast mode for the last week. He helped us build the pit entry chicane because we had a problem with the cars. Some of the cars wouldn't slow down for the pit entry, so we had to manually do it, and that's been a perfect solution. Ramos set up all the streaming, everyone just really bossed themselves to make this work, and it's so awesome when you have this many talented, enthusiastic people just working together and making it kill.
Was it Adrian that made the intro video, that like cinematic reel?
Yeah.
That is like definitely one of the ones that like you just hang up in the pantheon of awesome intros to races. Really well done.
Adrian always does an amazing job. He's one of the most aesthetically tuned people I've ever met. His graphic work is stunning. Whenever he makes spec liveries, they're the best ones. He designed all the branding for Charge. Like, he's the man when it comes to that. The reason Charge looks good is because of Adrian. So top work. He's a great guy. I really like Adrian. So pleased with him.
So let's just do a quick run through the from the field, at least that we can see on the timing screen. Bearing Straight leads by a much smaller margin than they did the last time we checked in on them. Only about 17 seconds to the number 23 Speedo car behind. This is for overall lead and LMP2. Pipo Racing 27 seconds behind the lead car, the number 66 in third. Corgi Racing, the number 6 in fourth. SCR, the number 82 in 5th, the number 3 of the Wadsworths in 6th, Team Alpha 7th, Cheesy Balls 8th, and the number 24, Dacia 9th, Thunder Racing 10th to round out the LMP2 fields. You see the Team Alpha and the Dacia cars nose to tail through the very end of the lap. And for the GT3 field, Lynx Racing in the number 39 McLaren retains the lead. They've been in and out of it for most of the race, but they are currently on top. Thank you for Smithy8K for a 2-month Prime streak. Subscribe to the Charge Twitch channel. Thank you very much. And James, your car, the number 69, is in second right now by...
Yes.
I can't tell how far behind because of the...
My kingdom for a live timing. I think old Raf is about... I have to, but I can't even read it. I think he's about 40 or 50 seconds behind. But don't quote me on that one, I don't know. So we'll see. I was actually going to say thank you very much for having me, Cam. Thanks to my bars. You guys are absolutely slaying it today on the stream. I'm so grateful for your contributions and help. And we're going to go back and chat to Raf and cheer him on. Try and get him to take this dub. So thank you boys. Best of luck for the rest of the stream.
Thank you.
So let's do some last lap action. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And And after the number 69 and 12 is the, hold on, MG Team Foyer in 13th, 14th, the Birmingham Boys, 15th, Overdrive Sim Racing, 16th, Lost and Pace, 42, Mclaren, 17th, Flower Pickers with 31, Porsche has had a pretty quiet race coming in from the back, but has made the leaderboard and is in 17th, great showing from them. The Sim Twats, number 68, Porsche in 18th, great drive from them, and the Cocorico, number 17, Merc that we've seen so many times on this stream, are in 19th, rounding out our visible part of the leaderboard. And
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it with you for a quick second, Boz. I'm going to go grab some more water. I'll be back soon.
Yeah. I was just going to say the Cocorico car has been somewhat of a human highlight reel for this stream. Lots of action going on with those. But as I say, a lot of the cars are quite spread out nowadays. So we're seeing a good chunk of cars, gapping, 20, 30 seconds apart now. Hopefully this will come down in the final hour. As we see number 22, Speedo Racing, in that lovely Bassif-inspired livery made by Ren, who does fantastic work within the Speedo realm. As we look to what seems to be a Gt3 Battle. Is that... No, it's just a lap traffic. But that gets executed pretty damn well. As we have a huge gaggle of cars here. GT3s, LMPs, all sorts going on. Will they all get through the final corner safely? No, the Simtwats car has gone off. Oh, dear. As we look on board to Thunder Racing, looking to get past the number 14 Birmingham crew car, that lovely police livery. As I say, it's the West Midlands Police Italian Road Trip 2K21. As we go on board A&H Racing, that lovely Jordan livery on the Mclaren, it works so well. It looks really good on the stream. It works. As we get Corgi taking Team Alpha and overtaking them and lapping them. And Dacia trying to make an audacious move around them, taking advantage of them, letting past Corgi Racing. As we see Thunder Racing again taking lap traffic for Prisoner and making their march after my abysmal first stint. As we go on board with Alpha again, Dacia's really giving them a run for the money. So this could be quite a unique one. Although it must be said, Dacia is actually a lap down, so they're trying to unlap themselves. That was very risky, very optimistic. As they come up to a bunch of lap traffic, will they be able to clear this nice and cleanly? It looks that way, although Dacia nearly got into the back. Oh, they might have done. They might have actually gotten into the back of the Scuff GP car. If it is race control, we'll have to have a look at that because, again, I didn't think Scuff GP was going to go off there, but they did. And looking to Sam Wadsworth, Naughty is in the car now, and he is putting in absolutely monstrous work, it must be said. As the Overdrive Sim Racing car lets the Wadsworth car by. As we go on board with the very, very cursed Cristiano Ronaldo livery. Again, this is what you do when you don't read the rules and think we're getting spec liveries. Yes. It even has Stephen's face on the roof, so you know it is fully cursed and fully punishment.
Not to mention that absolutely cursed Ronaldo statue that they made.
Of course.
But I am back. There's Stephen cheering on the drivers, I assume, with his iced tea and probably a knife. We've only got an hour and 9 minutes left in this one. Any serious things that happened while I was gone?
Well, there could have been a bit of contact between an LMP2 and a GT3. The Scuff GP car went off the track and was being pursued by the Dacia LMP2. So that could have been a bit of contact, but the camera cut away at the wrong time, so we weren't quite able to see. All I saw was the Scuff GP car going off the track after being run very close by the Dacia car.
And just looking at the leaderboards, it looks a lot like the Scuff GP car has moved up in the rankings, and also the Flower Pickers car has moved up quite a few positions since I ducked out. But Peepo Racing is slowly but surely closing in on Bering Strait and long-term pace, and Speedon is not far behind. They're only about 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds behind.
Yeah.
So once we get to around 45 to 30 minutes left, we get within one tire set's life left in the race for the LMP2s, we might see these guys get a lot closer, really start to push. If I'm Bering Strait, I'd try to press the advantage now and try to extend on that long run pace. And Peepo and Speedon, obviously their work's cut out for them. They know what they have to do. They need to keep slicing through the GT3s, get every bit of efficiency that they can out of those cars, especially the aerodynamics, to really hang it around those GT cars in the corners and try to be there and have a chance to come back and win.
Yeah. Again, one of the big things is with especially fighting through traffic is if you approach a GT3 car and catch them at the wrong time, it can cost you a lot of time. Especially in regards to if you catch them going into a corner and you can't get alongside going into it, and so you just have to sit behind until the exit and going onto the straight. You can lose several seconds just from that one instance, which makes kind of picking your way through traffic the most important thing in this kind of multi-class race. Yeah, Peepo Racing's taking the lead. Is Bering Strait doing a drive swap, or have they gone off the track?
I can't tell based off of the Delta, but I think Peepo Racing may have taken the lead. We have...
It looks that way, yeah.
Actually, no, I do think Bering Strait is doing a driver swap. I just saw their icon at the end of the pit lane disappear when they went into the box. So Bering Strait is doing a driver swap. There's an hour and 6 minutes left. This is very doable in terms of endurance for a driver. And that driver's, of course, getting a fresh car. Ren confirms they're pitting, and we are getting to the closing stages of this race. We've basically got 3/4 of the race done. But I guess now, if you're going to put your fast driver in, now's the time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what has to do with picking your time to pass the GT3s is, even though they are very fast race cars, they have a lot of aero, they are quite heavy, especially in regards to the LMP2 cars. So once they load up on those outside tires to get that initial bite into the corner, I think like after they do that, they're not very agile like they would be on a straightaway per se, and that really can be frustrating for LMP2 drivers who want to get past but just can't.
Yeah. I think the way you kind of have to sort of look at it is a GT3 is fast compared to a road car, but an LMP2 is fast compared to a GT3 car. It's the performance differential between like a road-going version going around this track and a GT3 version of a car going around track is the same as a GT3 car to an LMP2. It's a huge differential. Power figures are very, very similar. The LMP2 cars are about 900 kilos, so they're only about 300 kilos lighter than the GT3 cars, with maybe even a little bit less power, but it's the fact that the aero, the design, and just the chassis stiffness and rigidity compared to that of a GT3 car just makes them so much faster on a lap around a circuit by a factor of 15 seconds per lap.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the dynamic is just about how the cars handle, because in terms of like the grand scheme of just sports cars and cars in general, these things are pushing around mid 500s in terms of horsepower, which by race car standards is quite a bit, but compared to usual road going cars like the AMG GT pushes out about 600 some. The 720S in the 700s are very close to it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, a lot of the GT3 cars do have to in fact be derated to run for the balance of performance, and just to make it very if a car with that kind of aero had that much power, it's a totally different beast. But when you have about, I say 500 horsepower to 600 horsepower is kind of where a lot of the GT3 stand. They're still insanely fast.
Yeah, and that really speaks to the level of engineering that goes into the chassis design and the aerodynamics and real stiffening of the body, and even a little bit of suspension trickery. But you know, GT3 is one of the best classes to watch in racing because in LMP2, especially so in this race, it's the Eureka 07. It's all one model of car, and they're all the same with maybe a differing power unit here and there. But GT3s, you can see things like McLarens race Porsches, and in real GT3 racing, you see Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Audis, Corvettes, Porsches. They're all racing side by side, and there's all these different shapes and different engine positions and different, like there's V10s here, V8s here, flat sixes. It's really diverse. Diverse category, and I think that's why it's so popular, and I think it's going to stick around for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's the mechanical diversity is kind of what makes GT3 such a compelling category. But also, it's one of the kind of crazy things. One of the great things about GT3 is it's reasonably affordable to have a car, be GT3.
Which is one of like the biggest concerns for racing teams or aspiring racing teams is just the cost is enormous, even for a very low prestige Formula Series. There might have been a little bit of contact between McLaren and Porsche there. It is for position, lost in pace versus I believe that's the 17 Cristiano Ronaldo car.
Yep, the cursed Cristiano Ronaldo car.
Anyway, there might have been a little contact there. They stay as they run now, but even a very slow, low down Formula Series costs a lot of money per season, more money than the average person can just have on hand to spend in just one season of racing. But GT cars, because they share most of their components with road cars, especially the GT4s in particular. The GT3s have a lot of specialized parts, but GT4s are basically a factory weight reduction job with a little bit of aero if the rules allow.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, though, again, one of the kind of crazy things about GT racing especially, is that there's so many series and a lot of very high-quality professional drivers go there because it's employment. Rather than paying a team to run in, like, F2 or whatever, they're getting a paycheck, may not be a huge paycheck, but they're getting a paycheck to go around the world and drive GT cars at their absolute best, which means that there's so many different series that revolve around GT3, from sprint series, endurance series in Europe, Australia, the North America, and internationally as well. It just makes it a really, really cool category. And Datia's gone off.
Dacia car's slow.
I think just ran wide and they're having to wait for cars to come past.
Waiting for a rejoin. You definitely hope they didn't run out of fuel. That would be tragic with only an hour left. The towing time, essentially what it is, would just be disastrous for their overall competitiveness. But, I'm sure if you asked most people if they'd rather drive a GT3 car or an open-wheeler of any given category, they'd probably say the open-wheeler. But if you could only drive that open-wheeler once every month or so versus a GT every other week, you'd probably pick the GT car, and especially because there are classes like GT4 where you essentially just need to buy the road car, and the factory does more adjustments, and this the Dacia.
Dacia's also gone off again.
Maybe you'd have to assume damage to that Dacia car because of
they're just going to hemorrhage time.
2 off tracks and a lapse time. Not very good for their overall effort. Lynx Racing still holds the lead of GT3 right now. But Pratik and Chet, you can just buy a GT3 or a GT4 from the company. Most factories, if you just go to them with enough money, you're like, yep, you can get your car delivered wherever. But plus you can get that kind of factory support as well. And if you really know what you're doing, and you can just pick a configuration. Do you want front engine, mid engine, even rear engine? Do you want a V8, V10? Just pick your poison, and you can kind of drive any kind of dynamically car you want. And like you said, you can go all over the world. It's present in North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, even pretty much anywhere with the right management, you can go GT racing.
Basically anywhere.
It's the competitiveness, really, the balance of performance, and how much work they do to keep these things even. And then you get big races like the 24 Hours of Spa and the Nürburgring.
Yeah.
Where it's just essentially just GT cars of all shapes and sizes going at each other.
Yeah, and also what I like about certainly GT3 and GT4 is that, again, there's no real limit on what car can be used. It just depends on if it's homologated.
And we're going to take a break from the conversation about GT racing, and we're going to bring Ren into the booth to talk about what he's thought of the race. If I can find him. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Hello, Ren.
Hello.
How's it been going so far, then?
Good.
Up here, pretty good. Just plugging away the minutes. So, what were your overall thoughts on specifically the first stint? Everybody getting settled around, and some incidents here and there, but overall, what are your thoughts?
First stint looked tough for quite a few of the guys. I know my team Speedo, were having really bad FPS issues the first stint, which is why we did a preemptive swap. I think especially around lap 2 or 3, we were getting 20 FPS and big spikes. So I don't know about other teams, but I know we struggled quite a bit with frame rate issues. But other than that, it was quite clean.
And of course, the LMP2 Speedo car in P2 right now only about 6 seconds off of the leading car, which has been pretty dominant, making a late resurgence. But the 37 Porsche had an incident earlier on in the race that relegated it toward the back of the field. Can you give any insight to what happened there?
Yes, I didn't see much from my view, but from what I heard from the driver, it looked like just he was defending his line going into the second chicane, and I think a Mclaren just tried to make a pass that didn't stick, so it was unfortunate, but could have been avoided.
So as sort of like the team principal, you've gotten an insight into both the GT3 competition and the LMP2 competition. What's really surprised you the most about how this race has gone so far over 3 hours?
I think the main thing that I'm happy with is probably the driving standards. I think from the practice races at the start of this week, I thought it was going to be a concern that some of the guys racing wouldn't really be up to multi-class racing. I didn't think they had the right mindset. But obviously I've been proved wrong, thankfully. I think everyone's done a great job this race. Obviously, there's been a few instances here and there, but compared to what happened on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'd say it's a masterpiece.
And while you were speaking there, A&H Racing made a pass on Scuff GP on the front straightaway. A&H Racing up to 18th overall in the 99 McLaren. But yeah, overall, the race has been mostly quiet. There's been a few isolated incidents, but more or less, everyone's sort of held station. There's been a few shakeups, but do you think that your LMP2 car is going to be able to make a big fight back? Oh, as we got a car off track there, it's the Cheesy Balls number 24. Do you think that who's in the car right now? Is it Zypher Dario?
You know what? I'm going to say this now. I actually don't have anything to do with that LMP2 car.
Oh, okay.
The story behind that was Zai didn't get his livery sorted on time, so he came to me asking to use our Daytona livery that we run in the Arcus 12-hour race. I think one of the caveats to using it was he had to. I think he was running under a different name. I made him change the team name to Speed Don't. So that's how that ended. But obviously, other than that, they've been doing a good job themselves. I know Dario's a really quick driver, and Zyph's also got plenty of experience in that LMP car. So I'm hoping they can get that P1.
Yeah, they've cut down massively on the overall lead that Oh, Bering Strait seems to have pitted because Pipo has inherited the lead and Speedon is just behind them. Corgi Racing still P3. They're up from P4 to P3, and I have bad news because somebody just spent 10,000 channel points on something that never should have existed to say. I don't even know what to sing. I also can't sing, and if I do, I'd probably have the worst voice crack of the decade because
Just like that.
I could try to get my voice changer, but I don't think that'd be very professional to just crank on auto-tune and then mumble out a few words.
Do your best T-Pain.
I don't know enough to just belt it out. I am home alone right now, so there is a wide variety of things that Buzz, they want you to sing. How about,
I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna sing a bit of Lou Rawls. Okay.
Go ahead.
You'll never find, no matter where you search, someone who cares about you tender like I do. And you'll never find, as long as you live, someone who cares about you. DMCA.
Yeah, I was about to say, we might have a DMCA problem. They said I have to sing, they never said how much I have to sing. So I was considering just like setting my mic down on the desk and just taking a step back and just yelling Flocka as loud as I could, since I'm home alone.
Or just go full Pitbull and just yell Dale. Because it works for the Wadsworth car.
That's true. Or I could go in that vein and like just step back and do the best Cletus McFarlane. Hell yeah, brother! As loud as possible if they tried to make a pass. I don't know. Oh, Steven's here.
Hello.
Hi, Steven.
Hi there. I just spent my
packed.
Yeah, we have some good.
Packed box now. That means, yeah, Naughty's driving that for the Thunder Racing car.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job as well.
Yeah, definitely trying to fight his way back from an unfortunate position after getting clipped a couple times. But right now, Pipo Racing is in command of the pack, Corgi Racing P2. Well, they're up to P2, and Speedon has made a, I want to say a driver swap, chat, confirm that. Speedon down to P5, behind SDR in 4th, Bering Strait, back up to P3 after pitting from the lead. But Lynx Racing still leads from Mike Hawk Racing, nice try, chat, for P1 in GT3. I'm not sure how far behind the the AMG is behind the McLaren for the lead of GT3, but we will find out soon enough. There's Ren's car, the number 37 Speedo car, in 25th behind the Speedont of Zyfentario, who are trying to come back and take the win. Steven, what are your overall thoughts on the race?
I'm pretty clean. Had some hiccups in my stint with some different drivers when one time off, but it's pretty clean and I'm pretty proud of the job.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about driving standards from the perspective of the LMP drivers, and we can we'll get a GT3 driver in eventually to talk about what they thought of the general cleanliness. But yeah, Thunder Racing kind of a rough start to the whole thing, and just really quietly trying to fight their way back through the field. You see a bunch of action on screen now with the Team Alpha LMP diving down the inside of the 69. So, Steven, has there been anything that's really surprised you about the race so far?
Personally, some GT drivers that like go onto the brakes, like letting it pass and everything, like make some space. It was very helpful on my 1 hour stint on road. and also like the how quiet it is in the chat with Discord.
So we haven't really talked much about it. How has the event voice chat been? Has it been mostly quiet? Have there been a lot of callouts where people are on track or anything?
It's quiet. Sometimes you see like some live news. Some people are like chatting some stuff like bye and everything, and overlapping past. And also like some people who go past after lapping cars and wouldn't, or the people don't respond to that. So yeah.
Steven, this is something that you might not hear all of the time, but it's definitely, you're going to hear it now. According to Ren in chat, you are a little too quiet. So, don't overdo it, but yeah, I'm surprised that's what the end result is, but they want you to be a little bit louder, but don't go full Steven quite yet, although your face is plastered on the mountains of the sun, and as well as your home.
I am chat screen, but I genuinely enjoy myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope it's a meme that sticks around, because it's absolutely hilarious to be, trying to call a serious 4-hour endurance race, and then there's, a Cristiano Ronaldo cursed car driving under your face on the sun, which is, it's just hilarious every time.
I was some if some people like had a punishment livery that's like my face is blanked all over, but sadly not mine. But on the Tinder Racing pitbox, there is my face also on it with a panda.
What livery out of the entire GT3 field do you find to be your favorite, since we're talking about liveries?
Birmingham boys.
They got to show it off in a huge moment of oversteer, I think while you were in the car, but they brought it back nicely. It looked great on the camera, but obviously that livery doesn't ring quite as hilarious to me as it does most of the people watching, because usually our police liveries over here are either just black, blue, and it says police or sheriff's office on it, and they're usually Crown Victorias. But yeah, I'm sure that's hilarious to watch that thing, attempt to pull people over, as we got a couple LMPs getting a little close into turn 1. Yeah, it looks like everything got sorted out quite nicely.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, if the Birmingham boys was actually the Birmingham, Alabama boys, they would have already pulled over the flower picker's car and beat it and say, stop resisting.
I don't know if that would make for, like, good content on the stream, or would just get all of us punked.
It would be good on Live Leak.
Oh, it'd be hilarious on Live Leak. That's actually a hilarious idea for future endurance events. The Birmingham, Alabama crew, maybe with a really just over the top American police livery. But that's all in the future. We're not going to worry about that now.
Again, just checking Twitch chat. Will says, Bosno, I went there too late.
You were actually doing pretty well in terms of saying. I was surprised.
Everyone goes, we're off Twitch.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't allude to anything real. It's fine.
For legal reasons, it was a joke. Anyway, Corky Racing has moved all the way up to P1 in very impressive showing from them.
Yeah.
That's P1 overall, leading by about 8-9 seconds from Bering Strait, then from SDR, then Peepo Racing, Speedo, and the Wadsworths for the top 6. And I believe that...
and what I'm also looking at is the gap between Dacia and Thunder Racing is down to just 14 seconds. Oh, as I say that...
Oh, there's Thunder Racing.
Going off. Oh, God. I cursed it. Hopefully they can bring it back. Come on. Didn't look to lose them too much time.
It definitely was not the worst off that we've seen all day.
No.
Covered pretty nicely and a clean rejoin,
yeah.
Which really is all you can ask for, just clean rejoins, especially this late in the race where it means a lot how much time you can keep. But yeah, overall the LMP2 field the order has switched up quite a bit with Corgi Racing moving in from sitting around P3, P4 all race to going into first by a pretty considerable margin on the Bering Straight team, which has been just rapid. But,
yep, this looks like a good last hour charge.
Yeah, Lynx Racing still on top in GT3, however.
They've been pretty much unassailable for the majority of this event. Oh, was one of the lost in place McLaren spins?
Yeah, yes, he has fully spun just off camera. He rejoins the track
there he goes.
safely. No traffic behind. I think that was just a byproduct of a lot of cars fighting for the same spot. I think there were a couple GT3s and a couple of LMP2s all trying to find their way around each other.
Yeah, it does unfortunately happen every so often.
Yeah. But overall, I think the driving standards have been very good from this race. I mean, we have had some isolated incidents of GT3s not really mutually respecting the LMPs as much as the LMPs would respect the GT3s. But I think that is entirely passable and expected for a field of really fast license split LMP drivers, and then the potentially new to charge, new to Assetto Corsa GT drivers, which have done a great job keeping it clean. There have been no real egregious incidents or punterinos that we've seen. And we look at Lynx Racing trying to lap up the Scuff GP Porsche again on the outside in turn 1. We'll probably cut back to that in a minute to see how that one ends up. But overall, the event's been great. Like James was talking about earlier, a bunch of people have contributed to modeling the cars, balancing the cars, the track, figuring out those little technical bugs that you only find out a couple minutes before the race. And Ramos has been doing a great job running the stream. He did all of the auto cam that we've been watching off of the entire race. And, of course, helping out when the leaderboard collapsed and he needed to come up with a replacement. Did a very good job of bringing us something to base times off of. And speaking of Bering Straight, within 10 seconds of Corgi Racing. So in the last 40 minutes or so, we are probably going to see a big surge back up the timing sheets for Bering Straight, and SDR goes.
Yeah, they're looking pretty hot. They're looking pretty hot.
Yeah, they're in a very good position to reclaim that P1 position that they've had for most of the race so far. But Steven and Buzz, if you had to pick a favorite for the overall win, who would it be right here?
Oh, it's too close call right now, I'm going to say.
Personally, I think People Racing is going to do some massive thing. And maybe win the race. That's why I'm rooting for.
All right, Buzz. Was it too close to call? Stevens pulling for People Racing to come back from a 32 second deficit to Corgi Racing to come back and win. Personally, I think that it's going to be between Corgi and Bering. Bering has had immense pace the entire race so far, but there's still 40 minutes left. Anything can happen. Corgi could fall off. Bering could fall off. Even people could fall off, and Speedon could inherit the lead. You just never know until the checkered flag waves. But I'm really interested to see how close the GT3 fight is going to be between the 39 McLaren and the 69 Mercedes. The McLaren has been consistently just ballistic all race long, and the Mercedes has been slowly but surely working their way up the field. James, who visited the booth a little earlier, was talking about how he was very proud of what he did and was really taking no prisoners, trying to set Raf up for a good final stint. And only time will tell how great that final stint is, as we have 39:30 left on the clock.
Yeah, but yes, hats off to Ramos for doing this. He's famous Ramos, and just like the cookies, he's a sweet guy. That's my attempt to comedy. I'll be here all week.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm only going to be here for the next, 40 minutes or so, because I'm going to need to go get something to eat. I'm starving, but try to pull through for the full 4 hours. Really just a little bit of off-track action there. That is for position, this 720 versus 720 fight we're watching here.
Oh, yeah.
It's A&H Racing and Overdrive Sim Racing. They're going to be heading through the final corner now. I think they've got some LMP traffic bearing down on them, but they're going to enter the final corner and the pit straight. They're side by side right now, as you saw. Driver
And someone pits. Oh, yeah, it was the Corgi Racing pits. From the lead.
Corgi Racing pits from the lead with only 38 minutes left. I'd assume they're going to be going on to mediums and really just going after it, trying to secure the win.
We have a GT3 driver joining us. In the booth, Das Party Hut.
And he's gone. I think he may have joined.
Yeah, I think he joined incorrectly.
I was interested to see what his perspective from the GT3 field was. But, yeah, right now, so far, we're just waiting for the... Oh, driver backwards! It's the Scuff GP Porsche. He definitely got help from one of the other pink Porsches. May have been the Simtwatch car, may have been the Cristiano Ronaldo car. I could not tell from that brief look. But the Scuff GP car from P19 has been spun around. Unfortunately, none of the other pink Porsches that I talked about are on our leaderboard right now, so it was definitely a problem with lap traffic. He was properly backwards after getting almost, I think, pit maneuvered there, but recovered nicely and has rejoined the track, but that has got to shake you up for the rest of the stint. And is that this late, I would definitely consider that a code brown. Good look at the number 72 Lawnmower Racing Mercedes and the 44 Birmingham Crew Mercedes. He is being chased down by Lost in Pace. This is not a fight per position. It's P15 on P15 or P21 rather.
And there's P20. Oh,
number 68. Not really giving Peepo a whole lot of room there.
No.
That's not a great time to be doing that because Peepo's trying to catch bearing.
And again, cutting down to the apex, not exactly the best thing to do, but I mean, it was his corner. But I'd just say for if you're looking at that sort of thing, I'd say a little bit of spatial awareness is quite important here because if either of you misjudge that, it gets quite poor.
Yeah, I'm sure either Rod Stastic or Castro, whoever's in the car at the moment, was trying to give him room, but just slightly misjudged it and didn't give him enough of a car's width to get by on the apex. But
yeah.
I mean, the intent was there, but the execution was just a little flawed, which I'm sure was a little frustrating for the Peepo driver. But in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot worse ways to lose time.
Yeah, going off in the gravel before the Arabiatas is one of them. But anyway,
yes. Scuff GP still remains 19th place, by the way, after getting some Need for Speed Hot Pursuit treatment on the straightaway there. But yeah, we get a look at them, and they are just trying to run their own race. I think 19th is very strong for them, considering. I don't, if I remember correctly, they didn't have the greatest of starts to the race, but you know, after everything is said and done, P19 is very well done.
Yeah. Again, for them to keep like a top 10 position, yeah, they should be very happy with that.
For sure.
So we were on board with the Birmingham crew in that Battenberg liveried Mercedes, going to arrest some crims.
I think those are the crims right there. The team that is just 3 spots ahead of them, the number 69, driven by Raph, inherited the car from James after James's stint with that long-range dive bomb that we saw in Turn 1.
It was a very
slowly but surely trying to get away from, I believe that's Lost in Pace behind them.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are currently second in class, and looks to be a fairly sizable gap between them and third place.
Yep, Lost in Pace just probably trying to stay under the rear wing of the Mercedes, maybe put in a good lap or two, but try to maybe unlap themselves if they deem it safe. There's the Cristiano livery in 23rd, I believe that was. I'm sitting a little far away from my monitor to tell for sure.
It was 23rd, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there's the Birmingham crew. Just trying to slowly but surely work their way back on the number 31.
And it looks like the Lost Pace is going to try and unlap themselves.
He's under the rear.
Oh, that's very close. And it cuts away just as we're going to see it, obviously.
He's got the... he's definitely got the slipstream for it. Fit cuts back to T1 where you will know. And... yeah, Lost in Pace is going to stay behind with the Birmingham boys.
Right.
The Birmingham crew. With
As it looks like Dacia's looking to size them both up. Can they make this clean? Plenty of space. This might be a bit of a...
Mercedes takes the inside line, and the Dacia sweeps around the outside.
Yep. That's the Arbos Racing. That was very risky.
Very close. That was extremely close to the Thunder Racing LMP.
Yep, I think the shirts will have to look at that a little bit because that was not safe.
Most of the rejoins we've seen today have been very safe, very responsibly done.
Yeah.
That one is really the only one I've seen so far after 3.5. Oh, and he's overcorrected. The McLaren is off into the gravel trap. It's the Lost in Pace car trying to tail the Birmingham crew. Machine just gets a bit too much of a slide on corner exit and overcorrects as the Swift GP car dips a couple tires onto the runoff.
Very easy to do. Very, very easy to do.
Yeah, especially with a mid-engine McLaren that just has all that momentum back there. It's very difficult to save it the right way the first time with almost like a pendulum effect going on, and even when these cars with not a lot of steering rack angle, those big slides are really hard to catch. But hopefully he didn't have too much damage sustained and is able to keep going.
Yeah, again, with some of these cars, the tail swaps can just happen so quickly if you just get it a little bit wrong. And yeah, the results can be quite disastrous.
Definitely, as the People Racing crosses under the starting gantry in the lead of the race, the number 66 leads from the number 6, Corgi Racing, as the Bering Straight is down by 30 seconds to the leader. That's a bit uncharacteristic of them, considering their domination of the class.
Oh,
no!
That was awful. That was 100% awful.
That needs a look. I bet the team and the driver.
Yes, race control should have a look at that, and they shall dish out punishment severely.
I'm sure Pika would have a word with him after that. That was another instance of if he didn't realize what was happening just a bit sooner, he would have doored the LMP and just sent him straight into the wall, like no recourse. There's no way you can save it from there.
No,
especially with that much force on the side impact.
Yeah, again, it's kind of the big thing with the rejoins is think about the long game. Don't think, I must get it back on track this second. What you need to do is hold the brakes, let the track be clear, and then rejoin perpendicular track in a safe manner and bring it up to speed gradually. Again, it's just just like merging onto a freeway or a motorway or whatever. You know, it's just bit of care, bit of sensibleness.
I'm usually the type when I set up my HUD for a race, I usually don't have I consider them unnecessary things like track maps and whatnot, but if I'm doing an online race, I definitely have it in the top corner of my screen, so if or when I spin off the track, I know exactly when I can rejoin, and I don't leave it up to chance like that.
Yeah, much the time I'll have car radar and real time just to see who's on track close, and if I'm going to be close to anybody when rejoining. Again, just a couple of apps like that makes a huge difference in just trying to, keep a good clean race.
Yeah, even if you're one of those minimalist guys in terms of what you want on your HUD, you could even get something like one of my favorites, Sidekick, that can tell you, all the temps and pressures you need, But as our old leaderboard is
Slowly returning.
on top of the screen. We may have one of the biggest developments of the race with only 28 minutes left. The leaderboard has returned.
And it's gone. And it's back.
That's very interesting. Maybe Ramos can take a look at that.
It is
if he
weird.
if he can get the official leaderboard to work before the end, that would be enormous, because we could really definitively tell who wins. Ren in chat, it lives. It does live, apparently.
It's alive.
Or this might just be pre-rigor mortis spasms. We don't know yet.
Scratch that. Ramos is driving. I wasn't paying attention. Oh no!
Oh!
And Cristiano gets turned around by the Diamond-Shaft car.
Oh, no, they're facing the wrong way as well.
They need to get off the racing line. They need to reverse away from the track. That was a bit sketchy. I can't tell if
Yeah, I don't know where that was either.
Shaft hit, drove into the side of the Cristiano car, or the Cristiano car turned down on him, or it was just a racing incident, and one little bit of a wheel hop is very easy to get, especially under high load. But that's two cars out into the gravel trap. Definitively, there was contact. But definitely something the stewards are going to take a look at. Pika has already parked one car. I don't think he'll be doing it again. Oh, there's another car. It's a McLaren. It's I believe it's the
Abel's Racing.
the ANH. No, I think it's ANH, because we were just
No,
looking
ANH
at
was-
the
The
Arbel's
NH
car.
was just on screen.
Oh yeah, you're right. I got them confused. Yeah, is the number 88.
They are both
McLaren.
yellow and black, and they are both McLaren, so it is quite difficult.
Yeah, from the front they look too similar to me. From the sides I can understand, but yeah, from the front I couldn't tell. But the 88 McLaren has gone off track and unfortunately lit the rears up a little too much, and spun out onto the gravel by in chances of trying to rejoin. But yeah, that's really unfortunate with less than half an hour to go. That got a bit close between Lost in Pace and the Lawnmower Racing team. As we move over to the Cucurico Racing squad with ANH Racing behind. That little the old leaderboard coming back up, assisting to find out who's where or who we're looking at. But here we go with the two front running, but there's contact. And oh boy, the Birmingham crew.
That was thankfully I'd say thankfully it was lapping, and Mike Hawk Racing was incredibly lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, even because we've talked about it time and time again, the rear end of these AMGs can get really nervous if you mess with them too much, and that was contact directly on the quarter panel. I am shocked the 69 is pointed the right direction, and I mean that was just I could not tell from the angle we were watching at if that move was on, but my opinion, the 44 probably shouldn't have gone for that one.
No, but
Probably
you could
should
even
have waited for the pit straight or something, because lap traffic and everything.
But you could even say that the result for the Mike Hawk Racing 69 car was nice.
It was indeed nice.
Nice.
Anyway, Shallow Water with his support for Peepo in chat, and deservedly so. Peepo has gapped Corgi by 20 seconds.
That's a big gap, yeah.
20 seconds this late in the race is very big, and STR has picked up P3, only 20 seconds behind Corgi. So, and there's another spin for the 88. He's off track. He might have either rear end damage or
he just dropped. Well, it dropped on his own. I don't know whether he's got existing damage, but it also looked like a sensible rejoin. So
it was a sensible rejoin. I just saw it again on my delayed Twitch stream. It was a very good rejoin, but just the way that that thing spun on entry seems way too similar to not having a lot of rear grip. Like the either he had rear end damage with the diffuser or the wing. It just looked like when you tried to take a corner in like a Formula 3 car with the DRS open. Like you start to turn in, it bites for a little bit, and then it's just completely gone. Although in a Formula 3 car, it happens a little bit quicker. But it may have been he just took it too hot and gassed it. But to me, it looked like there was something mechanical with the car. And if he pits, we'll definitely know. But that's the 99 we were watching. That got really close in the rearview mirror between Red Suns and the Speedon't car. But either Dario or Zeif gets away pretty cleanly
Also,
with that.
Simon notes something. Where's the Birmingham?
They are down in about 20th position. They tried to unlap themselves and they messed it up.
Even before that incident, they dropped off of the leaderboard, which is a real shame because they had the pace to make it.
Yeah.
But Pratik in chat, good thing AC doesn't have punctures. AC does have punctures, they're just not like the way that you'd expect them to be. AC only gets punctures when you wear out the tires extremely by like doing tons of donuts and whatnot, and then it just clips through the ground and you ride on your rim and it's undrivable. But if actual punctures were a thing in AC, that would be a huge concern for these guys. Yeah, tire blowouts, Ren, and well, we've all had tire blowouts on purpose, James. Because everyone's done like donuts in an F1 car a little too much, and then you realize that you're not going anymore, and you blew a tire. But regardless, we carry on, and
I've had a white blowout in Miami, but that's a different story.
We move past that. Number 66, Pivo Racing Car has a best laughable 136.886. And has a 16-second gap now to Corgi Racing. Corgi Racing slowly making up the time. There's the Birmingham crew. Getting passed by SDR, which is in third place. 33 seconds behind the Pipo Racing vehicle. The number 23 Speedon't car has fallen back to fourth. And the dominant LMP2 car might be having problems. The 22 bearing straight is 47 seconds off the pace right now, with only about 21 minutes left to go as we get a full crowd of cars here. Dacia pulling away from the two, but the McLaren's got a little bit of a run on the Mercedes, the A&H. This is, I think the positions are just reversed. The McLaren is going around to back the Mercedes.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting battle towards the end, I think.
For position, Cocorico trying to defend from the A&H McLaren.
Oh, it looks like the A&H McLaren's got a good run.
Definitely
Not
think
quite.
A little more stable throughout the corners, although...
It's getting that out of corner acceleration that Mercedes really, really works well on.
Yeah.
So again, if they get a poor exit from one corner, they can just blast it out, which is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, you could tell from the onboard, once the steering wheel got turned in, that Mercedes was planted and did not require any sort of counter steer or sawing at the wheel. It looks like McLaren's got a better line through these next few corners. If the McLaren can get a good run up the straightaway and tuck under the rear wing, we might see that was a
dive. That was a dive on the Cristiano Ronaldo car.
And the Speedon't car is taking no prisoners, trying to get up to the podium position. Corgi Racing still about 17 to 18 seconds behind Pipo Racing. And there we go, down the straightaway, the McLaren tucked under the wing. Let's see at the end, McLaren to our right, to the left, taking
outside of the first corner.
He's his defense, right through here and cuts away. But according to the timing sheets, the Mercedes has stayed ahead. That was kind of a huge build-up for not a whole lot there.
Well, at least it was a build-up.
It was a great build-up.
As we look towards... it's not really a fight, unfortunately, but it is going to demonstrate how... I was going to say it was going to demonstrate how... the LMP's lap traffic, but he cut away to another one. Oh no!
Oh, that wasn't even an inch. That was nothing separating the splitter of the Mercedes and the.
And unfortunately, I have to put the blame on the Mercedes there. The LMP was more than halfway alongside, and the Mercedes just turned in.
That is a Monka W for chat. There was just no space between them. I actually want to think that because the splitter was so low, it slid underneath the diffuser of the LMP2. But
There was just a perfect symbiosis of split on split action.
That was almost a huge disaster.
Yeah, especially coming down through down into Casanova. That is a very fast part of the circuit. You do not want to get close there.
Oh yeah, I had some scary moments there. At one point, I would like to overtake a GT that like half on the press. That was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I say, on the exit of that corner, I was whacked by a GT, and so which is why we're in the position we're in, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think everything's been mostly smooth with lap traffic because we've observed the times when it wasn't, but generally things have been smooth with lap traffic, but the margins have been very fine.
As my beautiful face was again on stream.
Yep.
Anyway, we get a nice view of the 99, I believe this is. Yes, it is the 99. Got it right this time.
No, that's the 88.
That is the 88. No! Oh, I'm losing my mind slowly but surely.
As I say, it's two very yellow and very black cars. It's 88 and 99, so easy to confuse.
Saw the 99. Anyway, watching one of the McLarens. There's the Gt3 class leader, Lynx Racing, and their orange McLaren.
But they have been hunted down by the second place car. I'm just looking at the gaps. There's just about 2 or 3 seconds between it. This could have evolved into something very, very interesting in the next couple of laps.
Definitely. The gap from first place to second place is down to about 12 seconds. I was going to say if it went any further, I'd have to assume Pipo pitted. Gt3 Racing really not letting him get away with this easy, putting a lot of pressure on late stages of the race. So SDR and Speedo separated by 10 seconds. According to Elmo, I think he's Pipo Racing, said an LMP got in their way, lost 25 seconds.
Elmo is Lynx.
Yeah, that would explain why he said an LMP got in my way instead of a GT3. I'm losing my mind. Just let it happen, chat.
Drink more iced tea, it helps your mind.
I don't think I have any anymore on hand.
I still have 18 bottles left.
If you can get a bottle of iced tea from the Netherlands to the United States in 15 minutes, I will be just astounded.
Don't dare me, yeah? I'm taking you fighter jets.
yeah, just call it the local airport and ask if they have an SR-71 available.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it got there that quickly, I wouldn't be astounded. I'll be slightly terrified.
Like, what just replaced the SR-71, and how does Steven have access to it? Because at that point, he might as well just carry on to global domination.
ICBMIT. Intercontinental Ballistic Iced Tea.
Intercontinental.
The English, like change English out for Dutch. And everybody needs to drink more iced tea and have
Of course.
Of course.
Less than 15 remain for the 4 hours of Mugello. Presented by Charge. Unfortunately, Simon, we can't. It's an automatic camera. that Ramos has been working for a while. But it's definitely great because the frame rate has been really good on stream, and if I was in control of the cameras while commentating, the frame rate would probably be around 40, or in the case of the Ginetta race, it was even lower than that. We will definitely get a replay of all of the action. I was considering trying to sift through and make a highlights reel of all the action, real action, but I don't think I have the patience for that after talking over it. Plus, I can't stand to hear the sound of my own voice, so rewatching the VOD would just be bad. Anyway.
Yeah. And if it was streamed from my PC, the frame rate would be Microsoft PowerPoint 2003.
Well, my PC, it's not that. It's just
trying to commentate over like a 6 frame per second stream.
As we have Ramos saying that he's out now, and not to ask, we won't. It's okay. Tell me what you need to see. I think we're all right for now. We're just going to wait out the last 12 minutes or so and see what action unfolds.
Honestly, Ramos, the automatic logic for who to follow has done a lot more than what I could have done in terms of keeping track of every battle going on. And I would definitely get confused by lap traffic the way it does. So anything you see fit, you cut to, and we'll commentate over it. Some of these camera angles are really cool too, although there's no audio from the helicopter cam. It's great. I like the gantry cam from the perspective of the starting lights.
Speaking of helicopter cam.
Yep. Apparently, the lead GT3 McLaren and the trailing GT3 Mercedes are right on top of each other.
They are within a second of each other.
Well, we said we wouldn't tell you what to watch, but if you could just check up on that. Oh, there we go. We've got the live TV direction going on.
And just strolling through the cars, there is the
field. Oh, they're right next to each other. They're splitter diffuser almost in contact.
Oh, this is going to be interesting to watch.
Raft to the inside.
Does he make a move?
Yes, he does. He's got the move done. He gets a car with a head. Now lap traffic's coming through. And the number 69 Mercedes is going to try to pull away from the dominant Lynx Racing McLaren. Cheesy Ball is going to go by on the inside. It's now all on the McLaren to try to bring it back to a reasonable gap. We only have 11 minutes left in the race right now and counting. So that pass could be absolutely enormous for the lead of GT3. And you have to wonder with how far back Lynx is falling, maybe they have tire problems.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking maybe a bit earlier with the that spinning McLaren, was maybe they just overheated their tires and just totally lost grip. And it wouldn't surprise me if their tires are a bit old, or they have or they've overheated them trying to defend. Yeah, there's plenty that could have gone wrong, and whether they can actually capitalize on this it's going to be tricky, because the gap's kind of gone out to about, if I can read, about a second from it being a little under a second at the start of the lap. So yeah, that's so it's going from a second behind to a second ahead. That's pretty substantial.
Also, the Mercedes is pretty darn fast in a straight line.
It is indeed.
Talk about inches from disaster. Right after we cut to that, we got a perfect view of the Mercedes splitter fitting right underneath the diffuser of that McLaren, and the Lynx Racing car has gone off track.
Ooh,
the Lynx Racing car has gone off track. He almost definitely has ruined tires at this point. It's on the pit straight too. He's going to lose a ton of time. That is tragic. Oh, that is just hard to watch. But right now, the Mike Hawk Racing number 69 Mercedes-AMG GT3 is securely ahead of the Lynx Racing McLaren after a nice overtake, after just very nearly committing a murder-suicide on the pit straightaway. Oh boy, we couldn't have cut to that at a better time, right in the thick of the action. But that's definitely going to be one of the moves of the race, and it might prove to be a winning move.
Yep. I mean, this will be absolutely amazing if Mike Hawk Racing got the win, because Raf's fairly new to Charge, but he's integrated himself very well into the community. He's a bit young. He's a bit, still a bit unsure of himself in the community, but his heart's in the right place, and I think he's got some real potential to be a very quick guy and a very, very valued part of the community. So, yeah, if he wins, that'll be very good.
It's a very high pressure move. There was no room for error, trailing each other on the straightaway, and then once they separated to see who had the biggest balls into turn one, he did not give in. That was a great committed pass. Did not slide on.
Yeah, and his cojones weighed more than the Empire State Building at that point.
Just propelled the Mercedes forward on the straightaway.
Yeah, he just picked him up, rolled him round, slung him, and just pulled past.
How about a little more side-by-side action? This one not quite for position. The 75 has just watched the lawnmower racing car unlap themselves right in front of them.
The AMG Team Firefox. Yep.
Also,
Bit of action
I
here.
have a little contact with Nati in the car. And he said he was behind Speedo and was catching up to the guy in front. But he asked me if he can win Speedo. I said no.
Which is probably best because we don't want to be disqualified.
I behaved myself today. That's a new thing.
That is. Be proud of yourself.
Excuse my silence. I'm just trying to compile a list of people I'd like to have in the booth to talk to afterward. But lots of drama. Only 7 minutes left. We are coming to the close of 4 hours of racing. We've got a couple AMGs racing each other. These two, unfortunately, have a history with each other. And the last time the 44 was this close to the 69, 44 spun on the inside. Is the 44 going for something here?
Yep.
And
just unlapping himself.
Yeah, and Raf was not going to contest that, especially with everything he has to lose.
Yep, that was a wise move, just to let it happen and let the police car go past, because again, you want to do that in real life as well.
Yeah, definitely don't race the police car into a corner in real life. The results would be disastrous.
Yes, you wouldn't be going to rookie jail, you'd be going to actual jail.
Yes. Real prison time. He might be going for another move. The 69 got him back on the straightaway. Let's stay on this. 69 holds the line, and the police vehicle slots in behind him. Not going to force any drama there. Good big brain driving, considering if one of them screws up and takes out the other, especially if the Birmingham car takes out the Mike Hawk car, there are going to be words exchanged.
Very heated words.
Definitely would be if I got taken out from the lead. We might have ourselves a Brazil 2018. But
yeah, and I exchanged heated words when I was taken out from 10th. So
yeah. Anyway, we are coming in on just 5 minutes left. All 4 hours of racing have come down to this. Corgi Racing trying to chase down Pipo. About a 18, 17, I'm slowly ticking down, about a 15-second gap from P2 to P1. And STR holding on to P3 by about 15 seconds, so that's a lot of cars on track fighting for the same tarmac. Let's keep it clean now, boys. Too much to lose.
It looks like it's
all
right so far. Yep, it looks to have gone fairly all right.
Everything sorted itself out. Speedon, of course, in P4. Overall, Bering Strait P5. The Wadsworths 6th. Team Alpha 7th. Dacia 8th. Cheese Balls 9th. Thunder Racing 10th. And of course, you saw the move for the lead of GT3 from the number 69 AMG. Lynx Racing still holds on to second, and the Flower Pickers are up to fourth in class. I skipped over AMG Team Foyer. They are third in class, solid podium position from them. They didn't really have any dramatic moments, very quiet, reserved, just put your head down and drive kind of races from them. Coca Rico, we've seen them a lot on stream after everything that's happened with camera switches to them quite a bit.
Red Sun goes off a little bit, and who was that? Lost in Place just going off. Yeah, it was Lost in Place going off in sympathy.
Bit of an interesting thing to see coming onto the final couple of laps. But regardless, Coca Rico Racing in the 17 AMG. Not a super quiet race from them. They've definitely been up on the screen a lot, but they have, assuming they get no penalties, they're looking to come home. I think that is fifth in class. Yeah, fifth in sixth in class maybe. But
no, fifth in class. Fifth in class.
Yeah. Sixth in class right now is belonging to the Simtwats, number 68, in the Porsche 911 Overdrive Simracing. Great race, the number 4 McLaren Overdrive. Oh, that was a lot of contact there. Are both of them still going in the right direction?
It looks like it. They cut away very quickly. That
was heavy contact.
That looked like the Dacia car and the fourth in class Flower Pickers.
What happened there? Maybe you said earlier the LMP2s don't have ABS, so that may have contributed to that one.
It might have been a lockup, and it might have just been a very, very heavy stab into the back of the Porsche.
Yeah, kind of like a panic, like, oh no, they are really slowing down right in front of me. Those definitely happen a lot.
It has happened.
Number 19, the Birmingham boys, number 44 have fought their way back onto our leaderboard. 19th overall.
That's fun. I didn't tell if they actually managed to save it or not.
Looking at the track map, I can't tell. No, he's off track. He's off track.
Dear. Oh dear.
He's trying to rejoin it. Looked like he almost had it. It's just unfortunate. We got an LMP2 excursion. A lot of mistakes being committed here. Only a minute 15 left.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get maybe.
We've got A and Agent Simtwats right next to each other. Oh, scratch that. It's
lap positions. But
I thought
again,
close. Oh, Team Alpha has to pit.
Oh dear, that's
they 55 seconds. I've had a similar fuel miscalculation when I played Forza 7. I did the Indy 500 and I was a lap short.
Thunder Racing is not last.
Thunder Racing is not last. They've passed Dacia.
Dacia, I think, has damage from that contact.
All of that has gone to something. I would not be surprised if Dacia has damage. That was a heavy hit to the front right. And they're very close on track. She almost scooting way too wide. Let's, if we can, Ramos, let's head back to that battle between Dacia and Thunder Racing. That was pretty big, and of course it happens with only 7 seconds left. 5 seconds. And the time is up. That is the conclusion of 4 hours of racing. And assuming everything is as it stands, crossing the line. We see Pipo.
I can't quite tell if this is the last lap or we are going for a further one.
We've got a white flag right now. If we could take a look at Pipo Racing, the number 66.
We're on the last lap, I think.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be the last lap.
Yeah, this is the last lap. We're going to take a look at Pipo Racing as they round out the Mugello circuit. 4 hours of racing comes all the way down to this. They have a 10-second gap on Corgi, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm not cursing anybody else. we're just gonna watch Pipo
And we
round
have
out.
James joining us in the commentary booth once again.
Hey guys,
Hello.
just a quick message. When Raph crosses the line, please go apeshit. Thanks, bye.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Not gonna happen.
Probably, Steven, we're probably going to temporarily scoot you out of the booth so we can do interviews for full teams. But it looks like right now Pipo Racing just has one more overtake, and they will round the final corner to the outside of Cheesy Balls.
In that case, I will make room, guys. See you guys later. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. See you later.
And the 66 Pipo Racing Oreco 7 will cross the line after 4 hours of racing. P1, it's over. Pipo Racing wins from Corgi Racing P2. You see the
Oh, good lord. What the hell happened there?
camera, probably just in celebration. But the Pipo Racing...
That's got to be talked to because you're not meant to do that. That's very frowned upon.
Pico's got something to say. Corgi Racing finishes P2. SDR rounds out the LMP2 podium with a P3. And it looks like the next official finisher across the line will be Speedone in the 23. So close to the podium positions. Oh, there's a crash on the front straightaway.
Oh dear.
Line. Dacia's over the line. A couple Porsches were on the line. Oh, that was hugely dangerous. We got drama on the final stretch. It's Thunder Racing got passed by Dacia on the pit straight. Oh, that's brutal.
What happened there?
I have no idea, but Dacia crossed the line first. Thunder Racing got involved in that incident, almost cleaned out a Porsche. Cocorico crosses the line. That's the Wadsworths in 6th place overall. They crossed the line off of the timing sheets. What was that on the line? Boss has just gone off. I'm assuming... Oh, no, he's back. I was assuming he went to talk about what just happened.
No, I just accidentally misclicked.
As the rest of the field starts to go over the line, you never would have expected a big one to happen on the final straight. And
there is the GT winner, Raph Hoshan!
After a brilliant dive bomb on the Lynx Racing McLaren in the closing stages of the race, takes home P1 in GT3, and P2 and P3 goes to the aforementioned Lynx Racing. Just constantly solid race from them. They stayed at the top of the timing sheets for their class the whole time. And it would appear it is AMG Team Foyer, the 75, piloted by Redshift and Fox, will finish P3 in class for GT3. That's both your podiums and a dramatic finish after Dacia beats Thunder Racing, after Thunder Racing gets destroyed on the pit straight. That has got to be devastating, being just a couple hundred yards from officially finishing not last in class and just having something like that happen. But all in all, that is the result of 4 hours of endurance racing at the Mugello circuit. Charge Sim Racing brought this to you, and we're going to be bringing a bunch of drivers in for interviews afterwards. We might as well start with our GT3 winner since half the team's already here. James, get Raph in here. Oh, James is muted. So I'm going to ask Raph if he wants to hop in for an interview. And Buzz, if you would, could you please ask the Pipo Racing team if they want to in the Bering Strait. What are other ones? Corgi. Try to get them in here. Might as well try to get the Dacia guys because of what happened at the end. And then get the top 3 in GT3 if you can. I'll try to message the GT3.
Sorry to butt in, guys. I'm going to bring Raph in, and we're going to have a little party.
Yep.
Yeah,
I wanted
that's
to start with you
I
guys since
can't
already
find,
half
I
the
can't
team was
find him
in.
in Discord. I can't find him in Discord. Where are you, Raph?
He's
I
bought
believe he's
Raph.
called Robot Raph now.
He's bought Raph.
Yeah, I want to find Raph because he is the Chad.
Yeah, he's Bot Raph. Bot Raph.
Here he is, Raph, you absolute king! You absolute Chad! You beauty!
Class winners for 4 hours of Mugello. How about that last gas dive bomb? What was going through your head when you made that move?
Oh, scared. That was, so sweaty. Oh my god.
When
It just
you
feels good.
tuned in to that move on the straightaway when your splitter and the Lynx Racing diffuser was separated by roughly nothing. That was excellent performance under pressure. Great overtake. Great race. Those Lynx Racing guys were just supersonic all day. What was, just talk us through what you were thinking that last stint, trying to come back from behind and take the win.
I think on the last stint I was about 50 seconds behind. So it was just grinding down those laps, just getting consistent 51s, and yeah, it all paid off.
I can't believe it, especially after that happened. The first 10 minutes I had that spin and I had to let every single car go past. We were 25th, and I was said to Raph on the thing, because we've been quietly confident all week. We looked at the numbers and we were sure we could do it. We were like, we're the fastest team, the fastest pair. I thought we had a really good chance. After I spun, I was like, that's it. We get top 5. That's going to be the goal. I had the absolute stint of my life. I drove an hour and a half, pounding every single lap. Really good pace. Got all the way up to first place when I came in. After the swap, Raph was third. And he made up, I think, about 70 seconds on Lynx. So he's the absolute king today. He was telling me his lap times the whole stint. They were incredible. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of this race. I cannot believe we won. It's the most beautiful little cherry on top. Thanks, Cameron.
That was an absolutely fantastic effort in those last couple of stints, James, setting Raph up for that that one final stint for the glory.
He did it all himself. All I did was give him a setup and encouragement. The man was amazing.
James had a great first lap or first corner overtake. I think that serves as a model for you, Raph, because you almost nearly copied it. Great racing to both of you. You guys survived a lot of contact, a lot of setbacks, and you still fought back from 50 seconds back to win GT3.
Oh my god!
Yeah, if not more. But yeah, thank you very much, Camo. Thanks to everyone who organised the race and everyone. You all know who you are, who've done all the hard work to make this possible. Thanks again to Raph. You're the absolute perfect dream teammate. Could not go better. I need to have a fucking lie down after this. Sorry for saying a bad word. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you later, Raph. Thank you, Camo. Thank you,
thank you, everyone.
Chads. Thanks everyone else. I'm gonna go have a fucking run outside and scream. All right, bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming along. All right, we gotta get the overall winners. We gotta get Shallow Water and
Perea.
Yep. It's not letting me drag people efficiently in this. It's kind of dumb. Should I just drag them in, or do I ask?
No, drag them in.
Welcome to the booth. The overall winners of the 4 hours of Mugello, Pipo Racing, the 2-man team of the number 66 car. Guys, that last couple of stints were just incredible. The switching around at the top of the timing sheets. What were your guys' mindsets heading into the last few stages of the race, last hour or so?
I'll let Perilla answer that since he was in for the last hour and a half.
Oh well, we had the strat to maximize the fuel, so we were coasting and believing that it was going to work. We made like 30 laps in one tank, which was better than anything we had done in practice. So it worked out pretty well. We didn't know for certain till the last minutes that it was going to work, but we are so happy it did.
Yeah, we decided to go with the hard tires instead to just, I guess, keep a more consistent average and completely run out the fuel tank.
So how close were you on fuel then?
At the end, Barilla was like 2 or 3 laps.
Less than 1 lap.
That's awesome. So clearly just great strategy calls with the hard tires. Using all the gas was really just your key to success.
Yeah, well, as soon as we saw everyone pitting before the 50 minutes to go or so, we sort of knew deep down we might have something here.
Yeah, you guys definitely fought hard in the last couple of stints. The Bering Strait guys were looking really, really fast, but I guess you guys just put your heads down, made the right strategy call, and came all the way back to win it. Great race.
Yeah, thanks everyone for putting it on. Thanks to all the GTs, you're all pretty much great. I don't know about people's opinions, but for me, you were pretty good. And yeah, I can't believe it. I'm actually really happy.
Still kind of in disbelief that after 4 hours you did it. You came out on top on the overall.
Yeah, the frog was so happy on the car. Thank you everyone for the race. It was great, so much fun. The traffic was good also. Everyone was well behaved. Was such a good time on the car.
It was great to watch up here in the box, getting to see all the different storylines, all the different strategies, everyone trying to figure it out. But in the end, you guys had the best strategy, had a great last few runs, and were able to pull it off. Good job.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Well done, guys.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
See ya.
So let's see if we can get the Lynx Racing guys, Elmo and Kehan.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Trying to get Kehan in here. There he is.
Sorry about that.
Lynx Racing in the 39 McLaren P2 after 4 hours of just a masterclass of racing. What do you guys think of overall?
Well, I think we did a pretty good job. We started P3 after not so great qualifying. We knew that we had better pace. And then in the race, we took it nice and steady. Got into P1, held it for, I don't know, 3.5 hours or something like that. And we built up a really nice gap, so we were quite confident. And then unfortunately, at some point, we had some unfortunate run-ins with I think it was either blue flags or LMPs. Completely unfortunate, and our car got spun around, and we lost I don't know, 30 seconds or something like that.
Okay, that's what happened then. We thought you may have had some trouble with tires, but that really gives us an answer as to really what happened at the end there. But I think there is nothing you guys should be ashamed of for that race. You guys got into P1 after, like you said, P3 in qualifying. You move all the way up to P1, and you guys just had such poise under the pressure of being P1 and having all the LMPs swarming by you. You guys did fantastic to just consistently hold P1 pretty much all race.
Yeah, thank you. It's just a matter of keeping your head down and getting the job done.
Yeah, you guys did a great job of that. I can't wait to see you guys in another one. See if you can take the class win.
That's the goal. Next time, we'll get them next time.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be back again, and we'll put on a show once again. Yeah, Camo, thanks for hosting the stream. You did an amazing job. I was watching along for the last 2 hours after my stint, and it was a pleasure. So thank you so much for your efforts.
Thanks for putting on a great show on track. Awesome to watch. Great fun. And I just can't wait for the next one, because might be able to drive in that one. Leave the vocal cord destruction to somebody else, but yeah, I'm glad to have been the one to call it most of the time, and you guys did fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping by.
Cheers. Bye.
Next up, we're going to try to get the Bearing Straight guys, Alex V and Lantern. Let's see if I can find them. As I fumble my way around Discord, don't worry. In the meantime, I'm trying to look at my list here of other people to interview, see if I can find somebody. Try to get Stefan and Petresi. Please hold. I think Stefan may have hopped off. Let's see if I can find Petresi. Oh. Who's just stopped by? Oh, there he is. Hi, Stefan.
Hey guys. Was on my way to bed, but the last one stream you were calling my name, so
You know where Petresi is.
yeah, we were out strategized, unfortunately.
I think you guys did fantastic to get yourself in P2. I mean, at the end of the race, the LMP field that was usually pretty set in stone for most of the time really got shaken up, and I just want to know what you and Petresi were thinking in the last couple of stints when you started moving back up from about fourth or third up to second, having a chance for the win.
Thinking, yes, that is what we planned, and our calculations were about right. We were in a track position that we wanted to be at this stint. The only thing we didn't calculate for was a hard tire stint by Team Pipo, because I thought, okay, they're going in the pits around 50 minutes, so they should pit again with 20 minutes and do like a qualifying style stint, which they didn't do.
I was also thinking something along those lines, that they would try to long pit and have a really fast stint. Yeah,
because the other time in the race they run a pretty similar strategy to us, except for they did also change about 2 hours 20 in, I think, and really, and then the really one thing happened that was not in the plan. It was Patrici spinning up in turn 3 and at about 20 minutes left to the finish. This was when he fell down from about 4 seconds to 20.
You guys had immense pace in those last couple of stints. Pipo just had a really just huge brain strategy call that kind of threw everyone for a loop, because
Definitely.
they reportedly had less than a lap remaining over the line. So definitely, they were definitely pushing it to the limits. You guys had great pace. It was awesome watching you try to chase them down.
Yeah, but hey, next time.
There's always next time. That's the mindset.
I already secured Patrici for the next one, so
yeah, you guys are very fast. I would 100% expect you guys to be at the pointy end of the field. But thanks for stopping by when I couldn't find you.
Huh?
Thanks for stopping by when I couldn't find you on the list of people.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for your hard work. I mean, 6 hours almost of commenting. Awesome. Thank you. And
thanks for putting on a great show. Give me something to talk about.
Definitely. So I'm off to bed then. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. And I think that's probably going to do it for the whole stream. That's all the interviews that I could line up for sure. Thanks everyone for watching, stopping by, commenting, telling me that I'm wrong about something or pointing out something I missed or something I mispronounced. Anyway, it was fantastic getting to call all 4 hours from the comfort of my chair. Great racing. Love being here. Love being able to get the chance to call races like this even when I can't race myself. So, yeah, just stick around for the next one. We'll have regularly scheduled weekly action starting from next week. We have a few new championships in the works, and can't wait for the next Enduro. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
Brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.